The young man shocked the tavern owner with just one duel, because the fatal blow took only 0.25 seconds. You must know, those who can become knights are all battle-hardened experts. How could one fall to the sword of a 15-year-old boy? The source of all this was him, who once possessed world-shocking talent, being ambushed by the Skull King. In the end, he was enslaved. He became a Death Lord, conquering lands for the king. Under his leadership, the last city of humanity was turned to scorched earth. The one hailed as humanity's last hope, Sorosman, also fell completely. In that instant, the young man felt a splitting headache. He regained a sliver of clarity. He had killed his own family with his own hands. With endless regret, he pierced his own heart with his longsword. In a daze, he heard someone calling his name. "Damien, why are you sleeping here?" The man woke up again. What came into view was his sister, who had died. "Damien, it's about to rain. You should hurry home too." Am I dreaming? This is a human hand. Could I still be living under the king's control? He looked at the wooden stick beside him. This sensation doesn't feel like a dream at all. He then attacked a stone. The wooden stick shattered instantly. A look of disbelief appeared on his face. This is too absurd. I've really returned to the past. The stone made a sizzling sound. It shattered with a bang. I've really come back. I remember I committed suicide to atone for my sins. Although I don't know the reason, this must be a chance given by God for me to make amends. I now possess all the skills from my past life, but my strength is still insufficient. A shout interrupted the man's thoughts. "Young master, I've finally found you. He seems to be my servant, but it's been too long. I can't remember his name." After thinking for a while, he tentatively called out, "Victor?" "Young master, Lady Louise asked you to come home." The family head seems to be very angry. Although I was a scoundrel in my youth, I don't really remember the specifics of what I did. Just as Damien entered the house, he was attacked. He subconsciously dodged it. "Father, have you gone mad?" "You brat, how dare you say I'm mad? Did you forget you caused trouble at the tavern last night? You're going to ruin the family's reputation." "I can't remember. How long has it been since I was scolded by father, mother, and my sister?" He couldn't help but tremble. "I really wanted to see you all." Tears streamed down his face unconsciously. "I've finally seen my family again." "You brat, what trick are you trying to pull this time?" Damien said he just suddenly missed them very much. As his father, Paul looked shocked. He then said, "Don't think you can gain my sympathy and make me let you off." "Father, it's my fault. I shouldn't have damaged the family's reputation. I will make up for the mistakes I've made." Paul sighed. "As long as you don't cause trouble, I'll be at ease." "Father, I will go and resolve the mistakes I've made. After I've resolved the matter, I'll come back to accept your punishment." Could Damien really say something like that? He couldn't have been beaten stupid when he caused trouble yesterday, could he? "Young master, this is the tavern where you caused trouble yesterday. Are you really going over?" "I heard the tavern has powerful backing." Damien seemed not to hear and walked straight towards the tavern. "In this life, I must protect my family well. I can't continue to bury my talent. It's the kid who caused trouble last night. Didn't we beat you enough yesterday? You dare to come here and look for trouble again. I'm not here to cause trouble, but to apologize to the tavern owner for my rudeness yesterday." Obviously, the man couldn't believe it. "De nobles apologies." Even if you're a fallen noble, forget the apology. "I heard your sister is a famous beauty in town. If you really want to apologize, have your sister come and keep us two brothers company. We're good people. We'll dote on your sister well." The next moment, an afterimage flew past the two of them. The dagger in a man's hand swayed leisurely. He saw that the hand of the person in front of him was instantly severed. The other person was on high alert. He didn't even see how the man struck. "You shouldn't have insulted my sister." The servant at the side was in disbelief. "You bastard. We are members of the Black Snake Gang. No one who dares to provoke our Black Snake Gang has ever had a good end." At this moment, Damien finally remembered. The Black Snake Gang is a notorious gangster organization. In his past life, he was drinking at the tavern and received an exorbitant bill. When he raised an objection, he was beaten up. "Now I remember. I shouldn't have come to apologize for this matter at all." The Black Snake Gang member said he wouldn't show him any mercy and postured to kill Damien. Damien sidestepped lightly to dodge and tripped the man with his foot. The man fell to the ground instantly. The man never dreamed that he would be toyed with by a 15-year-old kid. "I must kill this kid." Unexpectedly, Damien had already raised his dagger and slowly drew it back. "This is the consequence of insulting my family." In just a moment, everyone was knocked to the ground by Damien. "Who the hell are you, you bastard?" An angry roar came from behind Damien. More members of the Black Snake Gang had arrived. The newcomer did not attack rashly but asked, "Are you a member of another gang?" Originally, I just came to apologize to the tavern owner, but then I remembered it wasn't my fault. The man didn't understand what Damien meant. "Since you're not willing to tell the truth, then I'll beat you until you submit." Damien muttered, "What a hassle." Then he took a deep breath. Leaving only an afterimage, he instantly defeated everyone. The man's face showed fear. He even started to stutter. Damien had already come before him. He complained, "My physical fitness is still too poor. Just this one move made me feel tired. Do you still want to continue?" Seeing this, the man hurriedly waved his hands and apologized. Damien attacked the man again, saying, "Let this be a lesson for you." At this time, everyone in the tavern looked towards the door. The man was lifted up to the doorway. The next moment, Damien appeared behind him. The original tavern customers fled in terror. "Who are you? How dare you come to my tavern and cause trouble?" The newcomer was none other than the tavern owner, Anderson. "Strange. Where did all my guards go? I've taken care of those guys outside your door." Anderson couldn't believe it. A kid took care of the Black Snake gang members. Anderson was furious. "Who on earth are you?" "My name is Damien Harkson." Anderson was stunned and thought, "A noble from the Harkson Duchy?" Damien said, "I'm not here to cause trouble. I just want an apology from you. The tavern gave me an exorbitant bill. And afterwards, rumors spread that I was drinking and causing trouble. In my past life, it was because of this incident that my father became increasingly disappointed in me. I need you to apologize to me and issue a public announcement to restore my reputation." "I don't quite understand what you're saying. As far as I know, the Harkson Duchy was destroyed a long time ago. It has no reputation to speak of. Don't think you can use such a despicable claim to disrupt my tavern. It seems you don't intend to apologize to me. I understand. Since you're unwilling to apologize, then I'll beat you until you are." A rush of footsteps. Damien said, "Dangereux." He subconsciously blocked with his dagger. A crisp, clanging sound rang out. At the moment of impact, he felt a subtle energy fluctuation. After a brief exchange, the two retreated. "Mr. Tide, this guy's trying to disrupt my tavern's business." Damien said softly, "This is truly surprising. A knight has actually become a tavern owner's thug. Why would a noble knight appear here? The knightly aura on him isn't strong. Every true knight receives the blessing of an ATC, who is known as the god of knights. And knights are divided into 3 ranks. Official knights, and then there are trainee knights." Anderson arrogantly stated, "Mr. Tide is a knight currently in training, and he has a close relationship with our Black Snake leader. When Mr. Tide came out, you should have been prepared to accept death." Damien said, "So is he a trainee knight or an apprentice knight?" From the brief exchange just now, I can feel his energy is not yet sufficient to become an official knight. I didn't even use a knight's power. Why did he discover I'm a knight?" Damien seemed to understand why a knight would appear in a tavern as a thug. "In other words, you were expelled because your talent was insufficient to become an official knight." Hearing this, Tide trembled uncontrollably. "Apprentice, apprentice, apprentice. Why does everyone say I'm not qualified to be an apprentice knight? I'll tear your mouth apart." He then leaped and attacked Damien. Just as the long sword was about to strike, Damien simply leaped back lightly to dodge the blow. But the man seized the moment Damien was in midair and prepared to attack again. Yet Damien still effortlessly dodged all his attacks. Following the man's final horizontal sweep, Damien retreated. His current body isn't strong enough to support him in a prolonged fight. Tide clearly didn't want to let Damien go just like that. He gathered the knight's energy in his body. He burst forth with extreme speed, and his long sword was enveloped in a faint blue light. But just as he was about to hit Damien, Damien closed his eyes. He recalled his time as a Death Knight, when he met the one known as humanity's strongest assassin. Once one reached her level, they could easily analyze all of an opponent's movements. Even he, a Death Knight, had his body severed by her in a single strike. Possessing an immortal bloodline, he came back to life. Relying on his super learning ability, he learned the strongest strike of assassination arts. He used this assassination art to kill humanity's strongest assassin. Because of this, when Damien opened his eyes, Tide had already been killed. Anderson didn't even know what happened. It was as if Tide was suddenly paused, and then he fell. "I'm sorry, great Lord Damien. It's all my fault. I don't know how to make it up to you. This is all my property. I'm willing to give it all to you as an apology. Since you're so sincere, I'm willing to accept your apology." "Victor, how long are you going to hide?" The young master actually knew I was hiding outside. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I would never have believed it. The young master's attacks were impossible to see clearly. When on Earth did the young master learn swordsmanship? So much money, young master. I've never seen so much in my life. Suddenly, an afterimage flashed past Anderson's ear. I accept your apology, but I seem to have forgotten that I should punish you. Go tell the leader of the Black Snake Gang. If he dares to touch my family, I will make him die. Then the two of them walked towards home. Back home, Victor was full of worry. Not only did you beat up members of the Black Snake Gang, you even killed the knight they hired. Damien told him not to worry. Even if we are fallen nobles, we are not someone this kind of gang can afford to offend. Besides, even if they come, I can handle them. Young master, when did you learn swordsmanship? I've never seen you practice. Damien said, I always practiced in secret. You definitely didn't see it. A noisy sound came from behind. He saw his father running towards Damien. Where have you been all day? Don't tell me you've caused trouble again. Father, don't worry. I just went to handle the matter at the tavern. Look over there. That's all compensation from the tavern. A whole bag of gold coins. Damien, you're not joking, are you? That's so much money. This is the tavern owner's apology to me and the compensation he gave me. Father couldn't believe it at all. He then asked Victor, is what the young master said true? Victor, tell my father where this money came from. The young master is right. It's compensation money from the tavern. Victor had a helpless look on his face. God, please forgive me. The harmless young master. How did he suddenly become someone who lies without batting an eye? The next day, Damien was training nonstop. His body is too weak. Many powerful skills cannot be used. But luckily I got this thing. He then took it out of his pocket. This is a potion that strengthens the body. This was also one of the items the tavern owner gave as an apology. It was made by a member of the Alchemist Guild. The moment Damien drank it, his originally frail body clearly felt stronger. If I want to become even stronger, I need to increase my body's stamina. I must grow to my former state. Only then can I guard against the Skull King's sneak attacks. I must kill the Skull King before he creates the world of the undead. Only in this way will I have the ability to protect my family. He then continued to train. Late at night, inside the Black Snake Gang headquarters, Tide used a feigned death drug and entered a state of suspended animation. Someone who has already failed, our Black Snake Gang no longer needs. The one speaking was the Black Snake Gang's leader, Walker. But Tide is a knight. Are we really going to abandon him? As long as I give enough money, anyone will serve us. The awakened Tide said, are you trying to abandon me? Useless waste. There's no point in me keeping you. Walker, you dare to insult a knight. With that, Tide attacked Walker. However, Tide didn't expect a dark purple energy to bind his ankle. Immediately after, his entire body was bound. Leader of the Black Snake Gang. Can he be the first target of our cooperation? Of course. Use this useless waste however you want. An obscure incantation came from the man's mouth. Countless monsters emerged from the dark purple energy. Tide would be discarded as nourishment. Screams filled the entire room. Walker couldn't believe it. This was even stronger than he had imagined. The one who caused trouble at the tavern is a noble. We can't move against him directly, but I want you to deal with him secretly. Make him fall into suffering. I will make him fall into endless pain. Brian is the Empire's most promising genius, while I am just a waste despised by everyone. But in a duel against a genius, the man actually took out a fork to fight. At this moment, Damien was training nonstop. He couldn't help but exclaim, the effect of this potion is truly astonishing. In just a few days, his physical fitness had improved significantly. But strangely, the Black Snake Gang hasn't made any moves. Damien thought they would retaliate quickly. Suddenly, an unusual sound came from behind. I knew it. They definitely wouldn't be able to hold back. He shouted, come out, you bastard from the Black Snake Gang. The next moment, he tightly gripped the newcomer's neck. But when Damien took a closer look, you're hack, son. He then let the man go. I haven't seen you in a few days, and your strength has increased a lot. I thought I was about to meet God. Damien recalled that in his previous life, he had killed his younger brother. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to grab you. I thought it was a bastard from the Black Snake Gang. I didn't come here to hear you say sorry. Father told me the tavern owner apologized to you. But I heard there was a conflict at the tavern. Many people were injured. From what I know of you, it's impossible for you to have done that. Are you lying? Hearing this, Damien said that everything he said was true. You couldn't have done it. You can't even fight normally. You can fool others, but you can't fool me. We've cleaned up too many of your messes. In short, stop doing things that bring shame to the family. Hearing this, Damien wasn't angry. He smiled with great relief. Hackson, you've grown up and are thinking about the family now, but you don't need to worry too much. No one will dare to mess with our family again. Just at this moment, Victor came panting and calling for the young master. Young master, hurry to the master's room. Something's happened. Damien rushed to his father's room. Damien, "What are you doing here?" He looked at the man in front of him. The newcomer was Brian, a noble from the Onlium Duchy. In the last life, at a noble's banquet, he provoked me. He spoke ill of my sister in front of me, and even said he would do everything he could to get his sister. In my anger, I beat up the noble from the Onlium Duchy at the banquet. Therefore, he used this incident to threaten my father into agreeing to his demands. Brian said he had always admired Miss Louise. Father asked, "What exactly are you trying to say?" "What I want is simple, for Miss Louise to marry me." This demand truly shocked Father. However, Damien's expression didn't change at all. This development was exactly the same as in his past life. "Brian, we cannot agree to your request. Do you want everyone to know that you insulted a noble of the Onlium Duchy? Louise already has a fiancé." Brian said, "Then how should the humiliation I suffered be accounted for? The Blum family is one of the most powerful noble families in the Onlium Duchy. But I can't let Louise be taken away by such a scoundrel." At this moment, Louise walked in from outside the door. "I'm willing to agree to his request. Use me to appease your anger." "Louise, rest assured, it's impossible for Father to hand you over to him. Sister, we will definitely find a solution. You don't need to sacrifice yourself." Damien lowered his head. In his past life, he was just like this, always causing trouble for the family. Louise spoke up, saying she was fine. "I will go with Sir Brian." The man revealed a smug smile. "Miss Louise is indeed a smart person. I will have my family send a formal marriage invitation. For the specific details, please wait patiently, Miss Louise." But just as Brian was about to leave, Damien blocked his path. "Damien, is there anything else you want to say? You'll have to call me brother-in-law now. I won't let you ruin my sister's life again." Brian said provocatively, "I will treat your sister well." But Brian never expected that Damien would dare to punch him in public. "I shouldn't have been provoked by you, but I can't stand it. Since I've been reborn, I won't allow such a thing to happen again." In his past life, he heard from his father that his married sister had returned. He was very happy. But when he went to find his sister, he discovered she had been mercilessly beaten and was living a miserable life. Only then did he understand that he had pushed his sister into the abyss. In this life, he could not make the same mistake again. "You will never get to bully my family." The noisy sound attracted the guard's attention. Looking at the fallen Brian, "How dare you harm the young master of the Blum family?" Brian also slowly got up. "You dare to harm me more than once." Reaching for the long sword by his side, he said, "I will make you regret this. Today, you will just die quietly here." The guard said, "We will handle this properly. Young master, please calm down. Even if they are fallen, they are still descendants of nobles. Please leave it to us to handle." However, Brian sent the guard flying with a punch. He couldn't help but say, "Even if we violate the agreement between nobles, no one would dare to denounce our family. We are one of the powerful families. You fallen nobles can't even be compared to us. Damien, today you have insulted me. How do I want to die? Since we are both nobles, then let's have a battle between nobles. If you win, my life is yours. If you lose, our grudge will be written off. You surely aren't afraid of losing to me. You are the man rated most likely to become an intermediate knight. Damien is clearly a waste. Why is he acting so confident? I accept your duel invitation." The two came to the open space at the entrance. I should stop their duel, but Damien seems to have a way to deal with it. Hackson was uneasy. How could Damien possibly win against him? Among junior knights, the man has already reached the level of an official knight. Brian said, "You don't even have a weapon. What will you fight me with?" But Damien showed a cunning smile. "To deal with you, this fork is enough." Brian couldn't believe it. Did I hear that right? The people around him were stunned. Brian said, "You must be scared stiff by me to actually want to fight me with a fork." Damien sidestepped to dodge. Brian was startled. He was actually dodged by this piece of trash. He then gripped his long sword, quickly sidestepped, and continued to attack. For sharp sword auras sealed off the space around Damien. This is the Lion King sword that can only be learned by becoming an official knight. But when the blast dissipated, Damien stood in the middle, completely unharmed. Brian couldn't believe it. How could this waste block my attacks one after another? Just as my attack was about to hit, he dodged all of them in an instant. Moreover, he seems very familiar with my attack style. After recent training, my physical fitness has been greatly enhanced, and I know his swordsmanship very well. You see, in my past life, I fought against his older brother, Michael. Michael was known as the Sword King. Damien said, "Do you have any other moves you want to use?" Damien's gaze gradually sharpened. "You are much weaker than your brother." Brian yelled unwillingly, "You must have been lucky to dodge all my attacks." He then gathered power in his ankles. He instantly appeared in front of Damien. "Can you still dodge this attack?" Damien's expression didn't change at all. The crisp sound of collision was particularly piercing. The people around were endlessly shocked. Brian also broke out in a cold sweat. He actually blocked my swift slash with just a fork. Brian suddenly felt his long sword become very heavy. Damien was relying on his own strength to constantly pressure Brian to retract his sword. The next moment, using the gap in the fork, he flicked the long sword away. Brian was still in shock. Damien's attack had already reached him again. "Brian, you've lost." Brian couldn't believe it. He had actually lost. Damien said, "Don't come and provoke my sister again." The man performed a master swordsmanship technique for the first time and shocked the Dark Archmage. This is not a power that a child can master. You must know, even for a swordsmanship master, there's only an extremely low probability of comprehending it. Damien defeated Brian. Everyone at the dinner table was silent until Damien said he was going to continue his training. After Damien left, his mother finally said, "Are you really not going to ask Damien?" At this time, Hackson kept repeating, "My weak Playboy brother." He suddenly seemed like a different person. Seeing this, the father finally spoke. "I know everyone is confused about what happened to Damien, but I believe he will tell us when the time is right." It was also the first time the father felt shocked. The feeling Damien gave him was like that of a battle-hardened warrior. At this moment, Damien was preparing to train when his sister's voice came from beside him. "Sister, is there something you came to see me for?" "I came to thank you. Thank you for fighting for me." Hearing this, Damien was stunned. "I should be the one apologizing to you, sister. It was my reckless behavior that put you in a difficult situation. I promise this won't happen again." "Damien, I'm really so happy. When I said I agreed to marry Brian, I was terrified. It was you who suddenly stood up for me. You protected me with such determination. I suddenly feel that you've really grown up, Damien." "Sister, I will continue to get stronger and protect you all." As Damien was about to leave, his sister called out to him again. "This sword has been in Father's study for many years. Father asked me to give it to you. The heir to an earl deserves to have a sharp sword of his own." Late at night, outside Damien's home, a dark purple aura filled the air. The guards couldn't help but start yawning, their eyelids growing heavier and heavier. The next moment, a figure appeared in the courtyard. It seems they were all sleeping soundly. Then, Louise's door was opened. A figure appeared in the room, just as the people from a Black Snake gang said, "Truly a stunner. Let me be the first to have a taste of you. I've been waiting for you for a long time." A leisurely voice came from behind. "What are you trying to do to my sister?" I sensed a strange energy fluctuation, which is why I came here. "You all should have fallen into a deep sleep. Why are you unaffected?" With a backhand, a dark purple energy appeared in his palm. "Since you're not asleep, I'll make you sleep forever." Seeing this, Damien quickly dodged to the side. "Who on earth are you? Ordinary people can't resist me. You come to my house and still have to ask my name? You are Damien. You're right. Now it's your turn to tell me. Who exactly are you?" At that moment, the noisy clamor of guards came from downstairs. Those guards were woken up by the sound of my attack just now. "Damien, we'll meet again. I'll let you go for now." He then transformed into a body of energy and fled out the window. Damn it, that guy got away. The Black Snake gang has started to make its move. I need to be extra vigilant. The residual dark, purple energy on his body caught Damien's attention. This energy felt familiar. The next morning, Damien sensed the residual energy on the ground, and the end of the energy trail led to a cave in the back mountain. At this moment, the Dark Mage was extremely excited. In just one night, the Black Snake gang gathered all the materials I need. I won't have to worry about materials for a while. Then again, if it weren't for those guys from the church constantly chasing me, I wouldn't be in such a sorry state. I absolutely cannot let the church find me. Suddenly, the crisp sound of footsteps rang out. The Dark Mage looked back in shock. "Who are you? How did you find my location?" "You're Damien, the eldest son of the Count's family from last night." Damien stated, "You left behind a foul stench that led me here." The Dark Mage was in complete disbelief. He can actually sense my energy fluctuations. "You're the one hired by the Black Snake gang, aren't you?" The Dark Mage gave an affirmative reply, adding, "The more cruelly I torture your family, the richer the reward." What a pitiful fellow. You will pay with your life for taking this mission. A mere brat dares to speak such big words. He prepared to summon dark magic to kill Damien. Damien stated that he doesn't kill indiscriminately. Even when a knight in the tavern faked his death, I pretended not to know. But a dark mage who has fallen into darkness is an exception. The man was shocked. How could you know about that? But Damien escaped the blockade in a mere instant. He charged forward at an extremely fast speed. Damien's speed made the man feel something was off. The blow landed squarely on the dark mage. But to his surprise, the dark mage's entire body separated into a form of energy. No matter how many times Damien struck, the body would separate and then reassemble. The dark mage said, "For a child, you've done exceptionally well. However, the moment you stepped in here, your death was sealed." The aura of dark magic surged from all directions, threatening to completely devour Damien. "I've set up dark magic all around this cave. This is to prevent the church from capturing me. Let me give you a taste of a dark mage's power." Countless streams of energy intertwined. They were determined to completely submerge Damien. "Just die peacefully in my cradle. This way, I'll have completed the Black Snake Gang's mission. That fat pig walker will give me a handsome reward." Just as the man was gloating, Damien's voice came from behind him. "So it's just a decomposition type curse." The man was shocked. How is he still alive? The next moment, Damien forcibly tore apart the curse on his body. "Why do you know so much about dark magic?" Damien did not answer. At this moment, Damien was even more shocked than him. "The power of authority is still within my body. In his past life, the Lich King Al-Sad, in order to create the most perfect warrior, that used his own necromantic power. The Death Knight had already obtained the strongest physical body. But Al-Sad was not satisfied. He wanted to fuse the strongest body with the strongest magical power to create the ultimate Death Knight. And so, he became the proudest masterpiece of Al-Sad's life. Without a doubt, what I have is the power of authority. I never thought it would return to the past with me." Before Damien could think, the dark mage's attack came again. Damien kicked the attack away with one foot. "Why are you still alive? Tell me how you did it. Everyone should have a hidden trump card. Why should I tell you? Besides, this guy should belong to the Yulon organization. In my past life, the vast majority of dark mages belong to the Yulon organization. It's an assassination group that uses dark magic. I must end this quickly. I originally intended to use this treasure when the church personnel arrived. It seems now you are worthy of me using this item. This is a bracelet that can store a huge amount of magic power. Once the magic power in the bracelet is released, even I have difficulty controlling it." The next moment, the dark mage shouted, "Let this hellish power annihilate you." The attack hit Damien squarely. "Even I will be turned to ash instantly if hit by that." A voice slowly sounded out. "That's some impressive power. However, you still know nothing about my abilities. My power of authority isn't simple defense. It absorbs magic power." Damien's aura completely changed. The magic power around his body materialized. "My authority has absorbed all the dark magic. How can you possess the power of authority? That's something only the strongest demons from the depths of hell can have. That has nothing to do with you. But you can think of it this way. The power of authority is my tool." Damien was now furious because he was forced to use the power he hated the most. This power was bestowed by the Lich King. In the eyes of the dark mage, Damien was an anomaly, possessing the power of authority while also being able to use the ring of light blades. When Damien's attack landed, the entire space was shattered. Is this Damien's true power? The man had only used basic swordsmanship, and shocked everyone around him. With just a single thrust, he neutralized the Archmage's attack. Is this really something a 15-year-old can do? Damien killed the Dark Mage and learned the location of the Black Snake Gang's headquarters. I must go and completely deal with the Black Snake Gang. Victor was very confused. Why does the young master suddenly want to go to the city of Hilton? Victor, you just need to follow me. You'll know the reasons soon enough. Young master, the book in your hand looks very strange. This is the Dark Mage's secret manual. This is a very important item. Young master, I've been meaning to ask you, what is that thing that keeps giving off a disgusting smell? Before Damien could answer, the carriage suddenly stopped. It looks like we've arrived at our destination. Victor, I need you to do something for me. What is this? Why does it stink? It's a human head. Hearing this, Victor froze on the spot. Young master, that joke isn't funny at all. After speaking, he opened the bag himself. The next moment, he was completely stunned. He shouted, "What on earth is going on?" Victor, don't panic. Keep your voice down. I'll explain to you later. He then reached into a pouch. I need you to help me deliver these 2 items to a specific place. This will make what we need to do go much smoother. The Black Snake Gang's entrance in the center of Hilton. I was surprised to hear that a gang could be established in the city center. Hearing the voice, the 2 men looked over. Who are you to dare cause trouble at the Black Snake Gang's entrance? My name is Damien. What? Damien? Never heard of him. Suddenly, the one-eyed man seemed to remember something. The person the boss hired a dark mage to deal with seems to be named Damien. You dare to come to our headquarters and cause trouble? Then, the bald man fired a signal flare. No one who offends our Black Snake gang has ever had a good end. In a moment, Damien was surrounded. But Damien wasn't flustered at all, even stating, "Just tell me who your leader is, and I'll let you go." Meanwhile, the governor of Hilton was on the top floor of the Black Snake gang's headquarters, along with his guard, the high-ranking Knight Robert. Walker was making an illicit deal with the two. Walker wanted to control all the commerce in the city, offering the governor a large amount of money in exchange. And the high-ranking Knight Robert just needed to help protect him. He fawningly expressed how lucky he was to have Robert's protection. Clearly, Robert was enjoying this treatment, laughing loudly. "Just leave it to us." Walker complained inwardly, "Once I control this entire city, none of you will dare to treat me like this." Just then, a subordinate from outside urgently reported that something had happened. "Can't you see I have important guests? What's the matter that has you in such a panic?" He then followed the subordinate out. The subordinate reported that Damien had come to their door. Walker was furious. "That damn dark mage can't even handle a single kid? Don't worry. Since he's come to our headquarters, we have hundreds of men, more than enough to deal with him." But at this moment, the subordinates all looked bewildered. Damien, after drinking a strength potion, looked incredibly powerful. In just a short while, dozens of men had already died by his sword. When Walker came out to check again, but he couldn't believe the scene before him. One person is wiping out the entire Black Snake gang. He's just a kid. Is he really Damien? The rumors said Damien was a useless good-for-nothing. From the looks of it, the dark mage I sent must already be dead. I have no choice but to ask Robert to step in. He's a high-ranking knight. At this time, the city guard also arrived at the scene, stating, "You have violated the city's peace ordinance." They were to kill Damien on the spot. They summoned flame magic and attacked. Seeing this, Damien defeated the incoming attack with a simple thrust. Seeing this, the guards increased the intensity of their attacks, determined to kill Damien. Damien's longsword began to spin continuously, drawing all the incoming flames onto its blade. No matter how much there was, it was all absorbed by the longsword. Then, he swung the sword. The attack spell was sent back towards the guards. He defeated everyone with great ease. At this moment, Damien was still wondering who the leader of the Black Snake gang was when he felt a chilling, killing intent from behind. His body instinctively dodged to the side. "Who is it? His killing intent makes my skin tingle." Robert's voice sounded from within the dust. "I was wondering who would dare to cause trouble here. I didn't expect it to be just a 15-year-old kid. I am the governor of the city of Hilton. How dare you bully our kind merchants of Hilton?" He even stated that Walker was a great philanthropist to their city. Walker thought, "Indeed, money makes things easy. You're the leader of the Black Snake gang, right? I've been looking for you for a long time. The city's governor is actually protecting the leader of a gang. It seems you two have been colluding for a long time." The governor stated, "Everything I said is the truth. On the contrary, how dare you insult me like this? Robert, I'll leave the rest to you. I am Robert, captain of the city guard. Lay down your weapon and surrender." It seems you're unwilling to surrender. As soon as the words fell, an attack instantly arrived before him. Damien retreated. At my current level, I'm not strong enough to contend with him. For now, I just need to hold on and stall for time. Every one of his strikes makes my body tremble. Damien tried his best to dodge the attacks, but he still couldn't. Just one attack nearly crippled his arm. In the blink of an eye, Robert appeared in front of Damien, determined to kill him directly. Damien could no longer dodge this blow. Suddenly, someone appeared and blocked the attack, kicking Robert's weapon away. This shocked everyone nearby. "Who on earth are you? How dare you interfere with the city guard's law enforcement?" The newcomer took off their conical hat. A silver-white radiance emanated from their body. Such an aura, such an attire. "You're a holy knight." At this moment, Victor's voice sounded from behind Damien. "Young master, I've completed the task you gave me." The woman's appearance is that of a charming and delicate saintess of the church, but behind the scenes, she is a decisive and ruthless holy knight. Not only did she instantly defeat a high-ranking knight in one blow, but she even became the agent of the god of knights in the human world. Just as Damien was in a desperate situation, the holy knight blocked the fatal attack. Walker couldn't understand why a holy knight would be here. Could it be that they know about my deal with the Dark Mage? Seeing this, Damien breathed a sigh of relief. Victor, you've diligently completed the task I gave you. A few hours earlier, Victor arrived at the church and happened to find a saint praying. The exhausted Victor asked, "Is this a branch of the church?" Anise gave an affirmative reply and asked if there was anything she could help with. My young master asked me to deliver these 2 items to the church, and my young master said that this book records someone dealing with a dark mage. At first, Anise couldn't believe it. How could someone dare to make a deal with a dark mage? But when she felt the aura on the notebook, Anise understood that this was an item belonging to a dark mage. And this symbol belongs to a member of the Yulon organization. She looked at the bag to the side and quickly picked it up to inspect it. That's right, this is the dark mage Agito, who is wanted by the church. And he's a manager in the Yulon organization. It's truly unbelievable that someone would trade with a heretic. Take me to your young master immediately. This was the reason for Anise's arrival. At this moment, Anise spoke. Are you Damien? You look very young. We have received your evidence and will handle it properly. Seeing this, the governor stated, we will not obstruct the holy church. Victor was also very surprised. Her aura changed so drastically. The imposing holy knight suddenly became like a little girl. The church calls itself God's agent. They help all the poor and suffering. When facing the forces of darkness, they are equally filled with hatred for evil. Everyone, lay down your weapons. The church has received a report that someone here is trading with heretics. The crowd couldn't believe what they heard. How could someone dare to trade with heretics? Until this matter is investigated, the city of Hilton will be taken over by the church. The governor shouted, Hilton is an autonomous city chartered by the king. Anise replied, the church's authority supersedes all royal power. And most importantly, you and your knight are the main suspects in this incident. He is the criminal who harbored the heretic, and you're all suspects. Walker, you actually colluded with a heretic? A panicked Walker denied it. The evidence is conclusive. You have no way to deny it. This notebook clearly records everything, including the items you bought and where you bought them. Walker was in disbelief. That damn dark mage actually recorded everything. This notebook even records what you do when you're bored. Walker was shocked. How did he know I play Dedizu when I'm bored? Anise was also curious. What's so fun about Dedizu? That's because you don't know about this Weejoy Dedizu. Not only does it have diverse gameplay, but it even has the popular Sundam mode. All kinds of multipliers and bombs. You can't stop. You'll get so many bombs your hands will go soft. You could be the MVP every round, the coolest kid in the village. Just click the video in the bottom left corner to download now. We will investigate the truth of this matter fairly, so please cooperate. I will absolutely not let a single bad person go, nor will I wrongly accuse you. Only then did the governor understand. All of this was within Damien's calculations. Walker understood that if he was taken away, just like this, the only result was death. Sir Robert, are you really willing to be wrongly accused by them? Robert knew that if he was taken in, all the shady things he had done would be exposed. The next moment, he broke free from the crowd and charged forward with lightning speed. He picked up his weapon, declaring that he must control his own destiny. With that, he attacked Anise. Seeing this, Damien thought Robert was too foolish. Just a high-ranking knight, yet he dares to attack a holy paladin. Before Robert could react, Anise was already in front of him. A swift punch slammed into Robert's body. Walker couldn't believe it. Robert was a high-ranking knight, yet he was defeated by Anise in a single blow. Anise said in a low voice, "What a foolish guy." Only then did the surrounding people understand. They were completely finished. Damien looked at Anise in front of him. Thanks to her, everything went so smoothly. Judging by her aura and holy power, Anise is likely a saint of Yulon. Among the blessings bestowed by the god of knights, there are 5 great knights, and Yulon is one of those 5. Damien, thank you very much for helping the church eliminate a heretic. So for this incident, we'll call it even. Damien replied, I'm not sure what you mean by we're even. Your attack on the Black Snake Gang was an act of personal revenge. Our church's intervention is helping you cover up your mistake. Hearing this, Damien apologized sincerely. I used the church to help me cover up the attack. Anise clearly hadn't expected Damien to admit it so easily. Although you attacked the Black Snake Gang, your original intention was good. By the way, there's a large bounty on the Dark Mage. We will pay it to you as soon as possible. It's about 1,000 gold coins. Damien clearly didn't care about the gold coins. Can I exchange it for a different reward? For example, the Holy Knight's magic power training method. Anise found it a bit strange. You're already strong enough to eliminate the Black Snake Gang on your own. Why would you still want a basic training method? I've never tried a professional training method. Anis was also a bit incredulous. Just by training on his own, his magic power is comparable to a mid-rank or higher knight. It seems you have a great obsession with becoming stronger. In that case, I have a good proposal. Join our church. Become a holy knight. Victor couldn't believe it. Can a young master become a holy knight? However, Damien had a helpless look on his face. He rejected the proposal without hesitation. Anis said, but becoming a holy knight is everyone's ultimate dream. No matter what Anis said, Damien refused. Damien thought, life in the church would surely be incredibly dull, being ordered around like a dog. But I have to find a suitable reason to refuse. He then said that he wasn't worthy enough yet and couldn't receive the gods' favor. He stated he would follow the gods as an ordinary believer. Damien, you're the most sincere believer I have ever seen. In the future, we will surely get along very harmoniously. The man was only performing basic aura training, and shocked everyone around him. You must know, even for someone called a genius, that it would take 10 years of hard training to achieve this. But the man completely mastered the use of aura in just half a day. Meanwhile, at Marquis Bloom's home, Blum rushed over after hearing the news that his son had been beaten. But upon entering, he saw a shocking scene. His son, who had become a knight, was too scared to move. Blum then grabbed his son and asked what had happened. But Brian just kept repeating, he wanted to kill me. Blum was exceptionally furious. A mere declining family dares to treat my child this way. Immediately send men to Damien's manor. I'll let him know that no one who bullies the Blum family has a good end. Several days later. Hello, Count. My name is Anis, a holy knight belonging to the church. Seeing this, the father thought, did Damien get into trouble again? He was only gone for a few days, and already he's provoked people from the church. He glared at Damien. The father didn't want to get involved with the church at all. Although you want to stay here for a few days, we don't have enough rooms. We'll be intruding for a few days. Please take these gold coins as our rent. Seeing this, the father immediately said they could stay as long as they liked. Damien thought, what a greedy father. Anis said, thank you for allowing us to investigate the dark mage. This is what you wanted. These are training methods that have been filtered and passed down from the experience of our predecessors. Why are there 2 books? I remember only asking for one training method. One is the destructive swordsmanship training method, and the other is the aura training method you need. There are too many training methods here. It would be too tiring to learn them all at once. I didn't ask you to learn them all at once. When you get tired of studying, just relax a bit. So how do you usually relax? Quick, tell me how you relax when you're tired of studying. While I'm tired of studying, of course I go play Dedizu. What's so fun about Dedizu? That's because you haven't played my version, WeJoy Dedizu. My WeJoy Dedizu is different. It includes all sorts of poker games from across the country. Whatever you want to play, it has it, including Sundan. It even has the recently popular Supreme 8 Fortunes cards. Isn't bombing your opponent once enough? Then bomb them 100 times. All kinds of multipliers, all kinds of fun. Just click the download link in the bottom left corner to play now. Then I'll download it and try it later. So what are you going to do now? Now, I'm going to start my aura training. At this time, in the Dark Mage's cave, members of the church were investigating the Dark Mage's research data. One of them spoke up, don't you find it strange? Agito was a high-ranking member of Yulon. He also escaped the church's encirclement many times. Even if Agito mainly researched curse-type magic, he shouldn't have died at the hands of child. I actually have my doubts about this as well. But Anis said she believes Damien killed him. Can we really trust Damien? You can completely trust Damien. Anis's voice came from behind. Seeing her, the 2 men said, we're not questioning your judgment. We're just very curious how he did it. He told me. He dodged the Dark Mage's attack and then killed him with a single sword strike from behind. The 2 felt bewildered. Can it really be done that simply? Even if he was a curse-type dark mage, and even if he wasn't skilled in combat, he shouldn't be someone a child could kill. Anis said, I had my doubts at first too, but when he fought the Black Snake Gang, I hid nearby and observed. His swordsmanship is exquisite. He killed the Black Snake Gang members with extreme speed. He can even use his sword to neutralize magical attacks. Not just neutralize, but what's more unbelievable is that he can reflect the attacks back. At this, the 2 men's jaws dropped in disbelief. Using a sword to neutralize and reflect magical attacks. That requires at least the level of a swordmaster. Anis understood that Damien couldn't possibly be a swordmaster. He must have very strong potential in swordsmanship. At this time, the Knights of the Blum family also arrived at the location of Damien's family. The newcomer was Garrick, a high-ranking knight of the Blum family. Is that the location of the Harkson family? The task the Marquis gave us is to arrest Damien. The lives of others do not matter. Only the blood of this fallen noble family can wash away the shame brought upon the Blum family. At this moment, an old man slowly walked up from behind. Garrick spoke. Are you a subject of the Harkson family? When he received an affirmative answer from the old man, Garrick cut him down without hesitation. The slaughter begins. Let every inch of this land be soaked in blood. At this moment, Victor was sweeping the courtyard. He looked towards the clamorous noise behind him. At this time, Anise and the other two had also completed most of their investigation. The flow of aura to the side caught their attention. The aura in the air slowly gathered towards Damien. With every breath, they could feel the aura strengthening. This made Anise, who was standing by, incredulous. What I taught him is a groundbreaking aura training method. One must reach an extremely high realm to absorb the surrounding magic power. He achieved this after learning for only a few hours. Coming to his senses, Damien noticed everyone staring at him with admiration. Have you finished your investigation? Anise replied, We've finished. I didn't expect your comprehension of aura to be so strong, Damien. It's all thanks to the training method you gave me. This is so much better than ordinary training methods. It was created by compiling the insights of many knights. In my past life, I was also a sword master, so I have a better understanding of the speed of cultivation. Just then, Damien, who could sense the surrounding magic power, felt a killing intent in the air. Anise, we don't have time for idle chat. Someone has already broken into my territory. I need to get back to the territory quickly. He rushed towards his territory without stopping. Damien's expression grew darker. Anyone who dares to harm my family must die. The man used magic power for the first time in his life and filled those around him with fear. Such a bone-chilling cold. Then, with a wave of his hand, seize him. But just as the long sword fell, Damien sent his opponent flying in an instant. Garrick at the side was furious. You're not Damien Harkson. It turned out that Damien, having finished his magic power training, sensed the killing intent and rushed towards his family's territory at extreme speed. In the family territory, Victor was being abused. How dare you defy my orders? Tell me where Damien is. Bring Damien before us. Even if I die, I will not tell you where the young master is. Hearing the commotion, the father immediately shouted, Stop! Who do you think you are, daring to order me to stop? I am Count Harkson, the lord of this territory. Victor, are you all right? Do you know what you're doing? How can holy knights attack civilians? And what's more, come into someone else's territory to attack civilians? Count Harkson, Marquis Blum wants to see your son, Damien. I knew Blum would retaliate against us, but I didn't expect it to be in such a brutal way. Garrick is notoriously brutal. If I hand over my son, the entire territory will likely be turned into a sea of fire. Even if I die, as a father, I will not sell out my own son. Your expression tells me you don't want to hand over your son. In that case, we'll destroy everything here before Damien appears. Are you all insane? Such brutality is not permitted between nobles. Do you all want to die? A whisper sounded from his side. The magical aura emanating from Damien was incredibly cold. Damien slowly walked towards Victor. The knights at the side were terrified. Their body's instincts kept them from moving. If they made a rash move, death would await them. Victor, are you all right? Sans signe Victor sera. He's still alive. You should all feel fortunate. If anything had happened to Victor, you would all have died here. So you're Damien Harkson. What little trick did you use to defeat Brian? Damien looked at Garrick with contempt. Do you want to try me? Garrick, wave his hand. Defeat him. Make him kneel before me. Just as the blow was about to land, Damien grabbed the attacker's wrist. Crack! The other man couldn't believe it. What happened? Before the man could react, he was sent flying with a kick. In less than a second, both mid-rank knights were down. Seeing this, Garrick walked towards Damien. You're not Damien Harkson at all. Damien was taken aback, clearly not expecting Garrick to say that. You must have been sent by a political rival of the Blum family. Hearing this, Damien's face was filled with helplessness, while Garrick was still shouting, asking who sent him. Damien replied, You'd better get your head checked. Your train of thought is too wild. Garrick said, Since you won't talk, then let me take you back for some torture. He looks strong. As long as he enters my perception range, I can defeat him. Just half a step more, and I can completely dominate him and bring him into my rhythm. Garrick slowly moved forward half a step. Now's the time. He quickly drew the sharp blade from his back and attacked, but he never expected his sure kill strike to be easily blocked by Damien. Damien smiled. Your strength is still not enough. Seeing this, Garrick immediately retreated. Shocked, he actually blocked my attack, and I sense a dangerous aura from Damien. It must be an illusion. Then, extremely fast slashes flew towards Damien. No matter how Garrick attacked, Damien defended with great ease. Garrick couldn't believe it. Every one of his strikes was easily neutralized. Damien said, "My turn to attack." Damien's strike instantly hit Garrick. Garrick had tried his best to dodge, but it was becoming harder and harder to see the attacks. The next moment, Damien kicked directly at Garrick. Exhausted from defending against the long sword, Garrick was sent flying. Garrick was utterly unwilling to accept it. "It's impossible for me to lose," he shouted and charged towards Damien. Damien focused his gaze. This is a knight's ultimate attack, the Lion King's thrusting sword. It was like thousands of sharp blades attacking from all directions. But in Damien's eyes, the position of the real blade was crystal clear. They clashed lightly. Garrick's long sword immediately shattered. Garrick was shocked. How could this be? And Damien took the opportunity to thrust his long sword into Garrick's arm. Garrick's arm was then cut off. Garrick's scream rang out. The young master has won. His father's face showed disbelief. "You've lost. Do you have anything else to say?" "I don't know who you are, but I have lost. Please spare me. You anger my family and beat Victor, and now you're begging me to spare you? You shouldn't be apologizing to me right now." Afterwards, Victor and the other gave him some loving care. "Young master, I think I still have some strength left. We can't hit them anymore. If we keep hitting them, we'll really kill them." At this time, the father also said it was enough. "They have already apologized. We can't really kill them." Damien hadn't planned on killing them in the first place. Now is not the time to completely fall out with the Blum family. He still had to consider his own family. The man, facing an attack from a high-ranked knight, not only didn't dodge, but even let the knight hit his vital points. This shocked everyone around him, and the reason the man did this, that was to gain the Duke's approval, and thus obtain that one and only spot in the duel. Damien defeated the high-ranked knight of the Blum family. But if the matter wasn't resolved, the Blum family would continue to retaliate. At this moment, Anise rushed back to ask what had happened. Seeing Anise arrive, the church was a very good protective umbrella. "Perhaps she can help me this time." After understanding what happened, Anise said the matter was simple. "Because you helped the church defeat the Dark Mage, our church can designate you as a member of the Church Alliance. Your family will be the family of an Alliance member." Hearing this, the father said that perhaps they could avoid the Blum family's retaliation this way. Then Damien spoke. "You heard our conversation. Go back and tell Blum. We now belong to the Church Alliance. If he dares to continue retaliating, then face the wrath of the church." After driving away the Blum family's knights, the father called a family meeting. "We can't expect the church to fully intervene in our conflict with the Blum family. After all, the church doesn't deeply interfere in matters between nobles, and the Blum family has countless other ways to retaliate against us." Anise also understood. The church can only prevent the Blum family's military retaliation. The church cannot interfere in other forms of retaliation. Damien understood perfectly. He now needed to seek protection for his family from a greater noble. This was the best way. "Leave the rest to me. I will do everything I can to resolve this incident." "Count Harkson, pardon the interruption." A servant's voice came from the side. "Someone from the Gord family has come." The father was puzzled. "We don't have any dealings with the Gord family, do we?" "We have no dealings with the Gord family. However, they say the young master mortgaged land for a loan. Now the repayment date has arrived." "Damien, is what he said true? You really are still that good-for-nothing scoundrel." The Gord family's butler said, "Pardon the intrusion. Today is the scheduled repayment date. In my past life, I did it for fun, ultimately mortgaging the land for money. How many gold coins do I owe now?" The original loan was 200 gold coins, plus interest. It's now 300 gold coins. Damien was shocked. "I was such a scoundrel in my past life." Seeing Damien's embarrassed expression, "It seems you can't produce that many gold coins. Then you can only kneel and beg me to grant you a few more days." The man understood that Damien couldn't possibly pay it back. He just loved to see high and mighty nobles kneel and beg him for mercy. Without hesitation, Damien knocked the surrounding thugs to the ground. Then he lifted another thug. The Gord butler was shocked. "What are you trying to do?" "They were trying to force me to kneel. I was just protecting myself." Then he walked towards the man. "I can't produce that many gold coins right now. Please take me to see your master. I will repay the debt in another way." After bidding farewell to his family, Damien got headed to the Gord family. Several days later, he arrived at the Gord estate, as expected of a duke's residence. It looks magnificent. Soon, Damien entered a room. You are Count Harkson's youngest son, Damien? My butler told me you were looking for me. Actually, I took out a loan from the Gord family, but right now I don't have the ability to repay it. I want to repay the debt in a different way. And that is to defeat the eldest son of the Blum family, the Sword King, Michael. This shocked everyone present. Damien, you seem to know some inside information. Currently, on the border between the Gord and Blum family territories, a gold mine has been discovered. The relationship between the two families was already bad. Therefore, several conflicts have broken out. The result of the latest conflict was that the Sword King, Michael, won with overwhelming strength. This has also led to the Blum family becoming stronger, while the Gord family is in an increasingly weaker position. If I can help Gord solve this matter, then my debt will naturally be resolved. Duke Gord was surprised. You're very confident in yourself. Rumor has it you defeated Bloom's second son. Damien replied, that's not a rumor, it's a fact. Can you really defeat the Blum family's eldest son, Michael? He is hailed as the youngest genius. Although Michael is strong, I am stronger. A knight beside them shouted, don't believe him. He looks like just a 15 or 16-year-old kid. Besides, Miss Chelsea is looking for a powerful swordsman. Miss Chelsea can find a perfect solution for anything. Hearing this, Damien looked at the speaker. This guy is really causing trouble. What my kinsman said is not without reason. Damien, what do you think we should do now? It's simple. I just need to show that I have enough strength. Just have a knight lord beside you use his strongest attack to hit me. I won't dodge, and he won't be able to hurt me. Hearing this, the man was furious. Just a mere child. His arrogance is unbelievable. I agree to your proposal. Then, the two went to the training ground. Victor said, aren't we here to repay a debt? Young master, why are you suddenly starting a fight? And the other party looks very angry. Young master, what on earth did you do? Siwo, you can begin. I will make you regret looking down on me. Damien said, hurry up. I'm starting to get sleepy. Looking at the man whose aura was constantly rising, he thought, did I provoke him too much? He charged mercilessly towards Damien. In just the blink of an eye, he was in front of him. Damien hurriedly placed his sharp blade in front of him. A crisp sound rang out. The moment they touched, Damien's long sword immediately shattered into pieces. The blow stabbed fiercely towards Damien's chest. Damien, who was hit, fell backward. This shocked the onlookers. But the next moment, Damien forcibly stopped his backward steps. The man couldn't believe it. Did this kid really block my strongest blow? The power of that blow was a bit lacking. Does this count as me proving myself? At this moment, Duke Gord was also frozen in place. Truly surprising. You're the first one to be able to take an attack head-on and still be so full of life. Damien Harkson has proven his strength. No one is allowed to have any objections. Damien smiled slightly. His current strength had reached a high level. Facing a mid-rank knight's attack, I don't need to defend at all, because he can't even break through my magic defense. Gord said, although you don't look injured, you might have internal injuries. This is a body-enhancing medicine I had the Alchemist Guild concoct. It also has very good recovery effects. I hope it can be of some help to you. I also look forward to your future performance. I will do my best to serve the Duke. The man just performed the simplest handshake, yet it shocked everyone around him. Because in the instant of the handshake, he defeated his opponent, and it only took 0.5 seconds. You must know, his opponent was known as the Brutal Butcher, but in front of Damien, he was like a child. It seemed Damien only used one strike, but in that instant, he clearly switched between 3 different attack methods. Is this really something a child can do? Damien arrived at the Gord family's training ground. As expected of the Duke's training ground, all the training equipment is complete. A voice came from behind. Are you Damien Harkson? Who are you? I don't think I know you. My name is Palmont. I'm a member invited by the Duke to participate in the duel. And these two are my brothers. This duel concerns the survival of the Gord family. Don't you dare drag us brothers down. We're about to start training now. You can leave. I heard this duel will use a 3-match format. I'm also very curious about the strength of the Duke's knights. But the next moment, Damien was in complete disbelief. They were all just flashy but useless moves. To put it bluntly, it's all for show. If they really go on stage, the Duke's family is doomed to lose. At this time, Gord was asking, what do you think of Damien? He is a very strong knight, and he can summon magic to defend himself the moment he is hit. Do you think we can win the duel? I think it will still be quite difficult. 3 duels. Winning 2 first counts as a victory. You mean, our other knights must also perform very well. At this moment, Damien's face was full of dark lines. These guys are treating the duel like a child's game. I must find a way to guide them, or we will definitely lose. Do you really want to participate in the duel with your level of skill? Are you looking down on us? You got a lot of nerve daring to provoke us. I'm not targeting anyone in particular. I'm saying all three of you are low-skilled. If you want to prove yourselves, then all three of you attack me at once." Hearing this, the three were enraged. They charged towards Damien without hesitation. But just as they were about to hit him, in a single instant, the three were knocked unconscious. A moment later, the man woke up, looking at the others who had been knocked down beside him. He couldn't remember at all how he was defeated. He stared intently at Damien. "Who on earth are you? It's not that I'm too strong. It's that the three of you are too weak. If you really want to participate in the duel 3 days from now, then you must accept my training. After your daily routine training is over, I will continue to train you. I will train you with all my might. As long as we can serve the Duke, please teach us how to train." At this moment, a ducal servant spoke up. "Lord Damien, I finally found you. The Duke sent me to invite you. Miss Chelsea has returned, and she has brought back a powerful warrior. Father, I'm back. I completed the task you gave me, and I have found a knight who is powerful beyond imagination." Gord didn't speak, just looked at the man before him. "I'm Gillick." Hearing this, everyone around was shocked. "Gillick, is that the brutal mercenary? The one who single-handedly slaughtered the civilians of an entire city?" "Father, Gillick has sworn an oath to me. He will help us in the duel against the Blum family." Everyone chimed in. "If it's Gillick, he should be even stronger than the Sword King, Michael. It's good news that he's willing to fight for the Gord family. But the representative has already been chosen. Let me introduce you first. Damien Harkson. He is the representative I have chosen to fight." Chelsea shouted, "Father, I told you to wait for my return before deciding on the representative." Gord replied, "You said that, but I didn't necessarily have to agree. This concerns the survival of the Gord family. I cannot rashly change the representative." "Father, you are too muddle-headed. I have never heard of Damien Harkson. Is it really reliable to place the family's fate in the hands of such an unknown person?" Gord said, "Compared to Gillick, Damien indeed has no reputation. But Damien can easily block a mid-rank knight's full power attack and remain completely unharmed. You just don't want to acknowledge my efforts. You are the Duke's eldest daughter. Who allowed you to be so rude in front of a guest and argue with your elder? Elders can also make mistakes in judgment." Seeing this, Damien felt that the father-daughter relationship seemed very discordant. "Chelsea, no matter what you say, I will discuss it with the others. You go down and rest first." Just then, Gillick laughed out loud. "Young lady, we are all men. We can decide this in a man's way. The winner of a duel between the two of us will do." Gillick is not wrong. The victor can naturally be the representative. "Mr. Damien, what do you think?" Damien understood that this was another test from the Duke. Damien replied, "I also believe the stronger one should fight, but I don't think we need to go to the dueling ground. We can decide the winner right here." Hearing this, Gillick laughed. "I'm afraid I might twist your arm off, kid. If you can do it, then give it a try." The next moment, Gillick quickly grabbed for Damien's hand. But the next moment, Damien instantly grabbed him instead and slammed him fiercely to the ground. Gord couldn't believe it. Did he defeat Gillick in a single move? "Sorry, I used a little too much force," Damien said lightly. Gord's guard knight was startled. Just as Gillick was about to grab Damien, Damien used his arm to block him, then shouldered him. A technique of using the opponent's force against them. This child, Damien, is truly not simple. Gillick, having come to his senses, slowly got up. "How dare you do this to me? I'm going to kill you." Just as he was about to strike Damien, Gillick was instantly unable to move. "How dare you draw a weapon in front of the Duke? If you wish to die, this old man will grant your wish." The pressure of the aura. Gillick was completely plunged into fear. As expected of the Duke's guard knight, this old man is definitely a true master. The holy sword that once shone brilliantly in the hands of Sword Saint now lies forgotten in a broken corner. Everyone thought it was just a broken sword, but the man was willing to bankrupt himself to get it. Only the man knew the true way to use this sword. It turned out Gillick wanted to kill Damien, but the old man at the side stopped him. "You are a guest brought back by Miss Chelsea. This time, I will forgive your crime of drawing a weapon in front of the Duke. But please remember, this is the first and the last time." Gord clapped his hands. Although there was a small incident, the result is already very clear. "Chelsea, you saw it too. Choosing Mr. Damien was the best decision." The knight Siwo at the side said, "This is unfair. Mr. Gillick must not have rested well from his journey. If both were in their best condition, the winner would definitely be Mr. Gillick. Most importantly, Mr. Gillick specializes in weapons, not hand-to-hand combat." Hearing this, Chelsea also chimed in. "We need a fair dueling environment. Stop trying to find excuses. This was a complete landslide victory." "Father, I don't accept the result of this duel." "Chelsea, shut your mouth. This is is a battle for the family's survival. It's not something you can mess around with as you please. Hearing her father's roar, Chelsea also realized she had gone a bit too far. Father, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. Your Grace, may I interrupt? I am willing to accept the duel proposed by Miss Chelsea. After all, it concerns the survival of the Gord family. He has already shown overwhelming strength. Why would he still accept the duel? Although Gord didn't understand, he still agreed. Victor couldn't understand why he would agree. Damien said, I definitely have my reasons for doing this. And he stopped walking. This is the blacksmith shop the Duke mentioned. The Duke had specially commissioned an exclusive weapon for Damien. The longsword ordered by His Grace the Duke has been forged. These were all forged for Lord Damien. You can choose freely. As expected of the Duke, there are so many types of longswords. Just then, a longsword in the corner caught Damien's attention. Seeing this, the blacksmith said, "That is a longsword forged by my master." This longsword was commissioned by a swordsman who once served under the Duke. He couldn't take it due to an emergency. Damien asked, the material of this sword should be echo steel, right? The material, echo steel, can resonate with a person's magic, thereby attacking the opponent. Then he said, without hesitation, I'll take this sword. He infused a trace of magic. The next moment, the longsword was covered in a layer of magic. Just as Damien was about to leave, someone stopped him. I am Miss Chelsea's handmaiden. Miss Chelsea invites Lord Damien to meet with her. I have nothing to talk about with your lady. My lady says she has something Lord Damien wants. After a moment of thought, lead the way. I'm very curious to see what else your lady wants to do. Soon, they arrived at Chelsea's room. My lady is waiting for you inside. Damien entered the room. This scent feels a bit familiar. Damien, I've been waiting for you for a long time. What do you want from me? Damien indicated he didn't want to waste time. Chelsea said she has always had only one request. Withdraw on your own. You don't seem very confident that Gillick can win, so you came to ask me to withdraw. It would be all too easy for Gillick to deal with you. I just don't want to waste stamina before the battle with the Blum family. Since Miss Chelsea sought me out, what's in it for me if I withdraw? I can give you fame, status, and money. You can have whatever you want. This attitude is really unpleasant, Damien replied. His Grace the Duke has an advantage over you in offering these things. If my father dies, I will be the one to inherit the ducal position. Go tell my father you will resign from the representative position. Damien smiled. I refuse your proposal. Chelsea was shocked. How could you refuse me? Damien showed a triumphant smile. It seems she's very surprised why I wasn't affected. I sensed the familiar scent as soon as I entered the door. This is the marionette from Dark Magic. Anyone who smells this scent will obey commands. But my power of authority perfectly absorbed the dark magic. Miss Chelsea, I have nothing more to say to you. Let's meet on the dueling ground. Tell me what you want. I will satisfy all your desires. Right now, I don't have many needs. I just want my family to be happy. Your family is very important to you, right? Since you won't listen to reason, then I'll talk to you in a different way. If you don't withdraw from the duel, then I will send people to kill your family. But as soon as the words fell, the next moment Damien grabbed Chelsea's neck tightly. I don't care who you are. If you dare to touch my family, I will kill you without hesitation. Hearing the noise, knights rushed in, shouting, "Let go of Miss Chelsea." The next moment, Damien instantly disappeared from his spot. In just a blink of an eye, he had appeared behind the two of them. The man was shocked. His neck had been cut. Damien spoke slowly. This is just a small cut. If you use a potion now, your life won't be in danger. Chelsea, you must remember, never think about touching my family. Otherwise, next time I will slit your throat. The handmaiden asked, Miss Chelsea, are you all right? Chelsea couldn't believe it. She had actually been threatened. Shouting, Marston, get out here. Miss, did something happen? Why didn't the dark magic potion work on Damien? Didn't you say he would be at my mercy if he smelled it? A very small number of people have magic resistance. Perhaps he has magic resistance, which is why he couldn't be controlled. I don't care what the reason is. Your Yulon organization must help me become the Duke. I came back this time to get the ducal position. Chelsea raged in the room. Little did she know, Damien was standing on the roof, listening to all the plotting in the room. The man used sword magic for the first time in battle. And shocked everyone around him. It was because of the technique the man used. That it was the long-lost sword melody art. Back in his room, Damien pondered. I never thought I would meet a member of the Yulon organization here again. I detected a dark aura from the energy Gillick was emitting. But I didn't expect Chelsea to actually be colluding with dark mages. Damien didn't plan to tell the Duke in advance. I will use tomorrow's battle to make the dark mage reveal his true form. The next day, at the dueling ground, Gillick's aura was indeed a bit frightening. Gillick looks very strong. Do you guys think Damien can really win? Judging by reputation, Gillick's chances of winning are very high. Hearing this, the two were very excited. In that case, we can escape Damien's clutches. The three of them had accepted Damien's training and were mercilessly tormented all day. Although I'd also like to see that guy fail for once, my intuition tells me Damien Harkson cannot lose. Gillick said, I'm really surprised. I thought after one night, you would have run away. You really talk a lot of nonsense. It seems both of you are full of confidence. Next up is your time to battle. The duel begins. Yesterday, I was careless, and you seized the opportunity. Today, let me torture you properly. An imperceptible dark power covered Gillick's body. Seeing this, Damien wasn't flustered at all. He raised his long sword in front of him. Then, he gently flicked the long sword with his finger. Gillick's great axe could no longer advance an inch. A powerful magical aura erupted from Damien's body. Gillick subconsciously retreated. Gillick was in disbelief. It felt as if something terrible would have happened if he had been a second later. He now felt waves of coldness on his body. Chelsea was puzzled. Why did Gillick's expression look so strained? The Duke was slightly startled, then smiled and said, This ability looks so familiar. At this moment, Gillick just wanted to end the fight as quickly as possible, thinking of winning with speed. Damien continuously infused mana into his long sword and then flicked it. Invisible mana attacks exploded on Gillick's body. Gillick couldn't see Damien's attacks at all. Before Gillick could think, Damien continued his relentless assault. Bastard, if you have the guts, face me in a proper duel. Damien remarked, What a foolish fellow. This is true sword resonance art, a method of attack created by a past sword saint, fusing swordsmanship with mana. In front of Damien, Gillick was taking a one-sided beating. Soon, streams of black aura began to emanate from Gillick's body. This shocked the onlookers, because the black aura was suddenly spat out by Gillick. Seeing this, Damien smiled faintly, finally showing your true form. Chelsea began to feel terrified. That idiot. After spitting out the dark magic, Gillick's body began to age rapidly. In a short while, he had turned into an old man. This was because the dark magic had overdrawn his life force. At this moment, the Duke looked puzzled. How did Gillick become like this? It's because he used dark magic. The dark magic enhanced his physique and strength. The people around were all shocked. How could someone use dark magic? Mr. Damien, you don't seem surprised. Did you know about this all along? I knew since yesterday, but I wanted to catch the mastermind before telling you. The Duke was shocked. Are you saying there's a mastermind? Yes, Lord Gord. The mastermind has already infiltrated the Duke's mansion, and the person colluding with the dark mage is Miss Chelsea. Hearing this, Chelsea immediately panicked and shouted that she knew nothing about it. The Duke was furious. How dare you bring a dark mage into the Duke's mansion? Then, Gord shouted for the soldiers to seize her. Lock down everyone associated with Miss Chelsea. Chelsea began to panic internally. If she were caught, all her plans would come to nothing. She shouted, My guards, come and protect me. Subsequently, the guards from both sides began to fight. Gord spoke with anger. Circe, arrest Miss Chelsea. The old man behind him replied, As you command. Facing the chaotic brawl, the old man simply walked forward slowly. Miss Chelsea, run. We'll hold him off. The old man whispered, You say you'll hold me off? The old man was seen slowly drawing his longsword. He swung it with extreme slowness. Chelsea only felt as if the air itself was vibrating. She subconsciously ducked down, wondering what on earth was happening. The sword aura, which seemed slow, surpassed the speed of sound in the next moment. The two men in front of her were instantly slain. Miss Chelsea, you should surrender without a fight. Only fear remained in Chelsea's eyes. She screamed, Saiwo, come save me. Hearing this, Saiwo was stunned at first. Miss Chelsea had always taken great care of him. He couldn't just watch her die. The next moment, he made up his mind and stood in front of Chelsea. Seeing this, Damien shook his head slightly. One idiot. Saiwo, you've made great contributions to the Duke's family. Do you really want to make an enemy of the Duke? The Duke has always valued you highly. Do you really want to become an enemy of the Duke for a dark mage? If you insist on doing this, I can only kill you here. Hearing this, Saiwo regained a trace of his senses. Saiwo knelt and gave up resisting. As Chelsea was taken away, she kept calling out to her father that she was innocent. Gord said, You're a useless piece of trash. You almost got the entire Gord family killed. If the church found out, the entire Gord family would be purged. Throw Chelsea into the dungeon. Damien smiled faintly, colluding with dark mages and trying to target my family. I must eradicate you. The Death Knight who once destroyed the world, now reduced to being someone else's retainer. all because the man was unexpectedly reborn into the past. And the first thing he did upon returning was to become stronger as quickly as possible. Only the man knew that the demon mages from his past life were about to invade. Now, dark mages had begun to infiltrate the Duke's mansion. With Damien's help, the dark mage hidden in the Duke's mansion was rooted out. But no matter how they were tortured, everyone associated with Chelsea said they didn't know what happened. They only smelled a fragrance and then became delirious. Stop interrogating them. They were just controlled by dark magic. Chelsea wanted to expand her influence, so she used dark magic to control them. The old man slowly turned his head to look, sighing in his heart. "Miss Chelsea, why did you do this?" In Chelsea's eyes, this was all her father's fault. From beginning to end, she just wanted to gain her father's approval. I just wanted to hear him say, "You are the daughter I'm proud of." But no matter how I tried to please him, he was always very strict, even showing disgust in his eyes. "If you detest me so much, why did you bring me back to the mansion?" The voice of a guard came from behind. "Miss Chelsea, this is your food for today." Chelsea understood. She definitely couldn't give up just like this. She picked up the food. "I must survive." However, the guard at the cell door revealed a cold gaze. At this time, Damien had also just finished his training. "Young master, you're back. The Duke wants you to see him." The scene changes. "Damien, have a taste. This is my favorite wine. Although it's not very expensive, I think it's the best tasting." In just a short while, Duke Gord was already a little drunk. In Damien's eyes, the Duke seemed to be drowning his sorrows in wine. Regarding Chelsea's issue, I still plan to ask the church for help. The dark mage behind the scenes escaped. Damien was shocked. The Duke said, "We've captured all of Chelsea's key members, but there's no trace of the dark mage." I was careless. I thought with a strong person like Serki, the dark mage wouldn't be able to escape. Then Damien asked, "Did Chelsea reveal any specific information about the dark mage?" The Duke shook his head helplessly. "Chelsea refuses to say anything. The old Chelsea wasn't like this. This is all my fault." Chelsea's mother was a commoner. When I was young, I met her mother while hunting outside. Eventually, we had Chelsea. I am a Duke. How could I possibly marry a commoner? So when a mother and daughter came to find me, I drove them away. Until one day, a few years later, I suddenly wanted to know if they were doing well. So I sent someone to investigate. Chelsea's mother died in a plague, but Chelsea survived. So I brought her back. I don't know why I did it, but I know that Chelsea always wanted to be part of my family, to be acknowledged by me. But I'm a Duke with countless political enemies watching my every move. I treated Chelsea coldly because I just wanted her to live the most ordinary life of a noble. The Duke gave a bitter laugh. "Looks like I've had too much to drink today. I've said too much." Just then, a servant's voice came from outside the door. "Something's happened, Lord Gord." "What happened?" "Miss Chelsea. She committed suicide in her cell." Chelsea chose tout commis suicide. Since Chelsea's death, Duke Gord had stayed in his room for 3 days. All signs indicated that Chelsea's death was a suicide. It seemed like everything was over, but a bigger trouble was emerging. According to the Dark Mage's methods, it's impossible for them to have fled in such a hurry. Meanwhile, Saiwo, upon learning of Chelsea's death, could only numb himself with alcohol. He kept repeating, "It's all my fault. I should have protected you with my life." Saiwo vaguely remembered the first time he saw Chelsea. Chelsea asked, "If I give these flowers to father, he'll be very happy, right?" It was at that moment that Miss Chelsea entered my heart. Saiwo was filled with immense regret. He would never see Miss Chelsea again. "Mr. Saiwo, are you all right?" A voice sounded from behind. Saiwo turned to look. "What are you doing here?" Saiwo's expression first froze. Then he pinned the maidservant firmly against the wall. "You clearly knew the young lady was dealing with a dark mage. Why didn't you stop her? And now you dare to appear before me? Aren't you afraid I'll kill you right now? I came to you hoping you would help Miss Chelsea get her revenge." "What revenge? What are you talking about?" "Miss Chelsea didn't commit suicide. She died because she couldn't bear the torture in prison." "What do you mean by that? Do you have any proof?" "Mr. Saiwo, I don't have any proof, but I saw Miss Chelsea's body. Miss Chelsea was covered in wounds." Hearing this, Saiwo broke down even more. He couldn't believe how much Chelsea had suffered before her death. The maidservant said, "It must be the Duke trying to cover up the truth that they killed Miss Chelsea, so they used her suicide as an excuse." "Mr. Saiwo, I beg you, please help Miss Chelsea get revenge on the Duke. Let's work together and destroy the Gord family." The scent of the dark magic marionette drifted into Saiwo's body. Due to his excessive grief, Saiwo had no defenses whatsoever. "Mr. Saiwo, I look forward to your revenge for Miss Chelsea. I never thought I could control a mid-rank knight so easily. Normally, this magic is ineffective against mid-rank knights." The maidservant laughed loudly. "Mr. Saiwo is currently immersed in grief. Chelsea is Siwo's greatest weakness. If he knew that we caused Chelsea's death, he would surely break down even more. One more thing. Do we really need to hunt down Damien Harkson? I learned through my informant within the church that Damien was the one who killed Agito. Most importantly, his existence is interfering with that Lord's plan. The man merely released his most basic aura, and it shocked the person beside him. Is this really an aura a child can possess? Even Michael, who was at the side, was extremely shocked. I finally found him, an opponent who can stand on the same level as me. The Dark Mages are plotting against the Gord family and have declared that they will definitely kill Damien this time. Damien is unaware of this and is still training his mana. 3 dark figures behind him were staring at Damien. They had been waiting for 3 hours. The next moment, they launched a sneak attack on Damien from the side, determined to defeat him. The surrounding candles were suddenly stirred by a gust of wind. At the same time, Damien's figure abruptly vanished from his spot. His figure then appeared behind the attacker. Seeing this, the attacker hurriedly blocked Damien's attack. But he never expected that Damien's strike carried the force of several hundred pounds, sending him flying in an instant. I was so careful with the sneak attack, yet he still discovered me. Paulman showed a look of unwillingness. With just that one blow, Paulman's body was already exhausted. You made me wait too long. To think you'd crouch behind me for 3 hours before making a move. I told you that you could ambush me at any time, but you still haven't hit me once. Paulman thought, looks like we're in for another day of hellish training. But Damien said there would be no training for the next 2 days. Paulman couldn't believe it. The others were puzzled. Do we really not need to train? Damien gave an affirmative answer. Paulman showed a joyful expression. He thought he would be mercilessly trained all day, but unexpectedly, the training was canceled. In 2 days, we will have the duel with the Blum family. You need to rest well these 2 days. Don't get happy too early. While you rest, think back on the combat I've taught you recently. But the two of them thought for a moment. These past few days, Damien has just been beating us up. It doesn't seem like he taught us any techniques. Looking at their expressions, Damien sighed. It seems they haven't understood. My training for them isn't just simple attacks, but teaching by integrating techniques into actual combat. The next moment, Damien looked at Paulman in front of him and showed a gratified smile. It seems at least one person has understood something. Damien was greatly looking forward to his duel with Michael again. A few days later, on the Great Plains, Gord said, "It seems we're late. Damien, look, what do you think of the morale of the Blum family's army opposite us? This is a very high-level army. In terms of both equipment and morale, they are an army full of fighting spirit." Damien could clearly feel a very strong mana fluctuation from the Blum family. Gord laughed loudly. "Damien, you're right. Although Blum is a bit stupid in my eyes, he's certainly skilled at training an army." Serki spoke up, "Your Grace. The Blum family's envoy has proposed a meeting between both sides. Since they proposed it, let's go and meet them properly." At this time, in the Blum military camp, Blum was shouting angrily, "We're preparing to meet the members of the Gord family. How long are you planning to sleep?" A lazy voice sounded, "Father, you're too loud. I was having a sweet dream, and you woke me up." This person was none other than Michael. Blum said, "This duel is crucial. You need to prepare to fight. I can duel anytime. The opponents are just a bunch of weaklings anyway." Hearing this, Blum was completely helpless with his son. "Then you can go back to sleep. I'll go meet Damien Harkson alone." Hearing this, Michael immediately sat up. "Why is Damien in the Duke's camp?" Blum said, "I told you. Damien has joined the Duke's camp. If Damien Harkson is really there, then things will become a little more interesting." "Gore, long time no see. We agreed on a meeting time, and you're actually late, Blum." "Duke Gore, this is just a small matter. Surely your magnanimity won't be angered by such a trivial thing." "Sir Serki, long time no see. I've said it before, following the Duke must be very boring. Why not come over to the Blum family?" Serki stated that his life would be dedicated to the Duke. At this time, Blum asked with confusion who he was. Gord said, "He is Damien Harkson." Blum was shocked. "Damien is just a 12-year-old child? He's the one who defeated Brian. If I get the chance, I'd like to teach him a lesson myself." But looking at the faint aura emanating from Damien, Blum showed a shocked expression. "I actually feel a sense of danger. From him, I feel the same kind of aura as Michael." He shouted, "Michael, come out." Hearing this, Michael whispered, "Father, I've told you many times, your voice is too loud." The moment Michael saw Damien, he was completely stunned. Then, an incredibly excited expression appeared on his face. "I've finally met an opponent worthy of me drawing my sword. Damien Harkson." The man just stood there and glanced over. and it made the man, who was a sword king, shudder with fear. He even subconsciously raised his long sword to defend, because, despite being an undefeated sword king, he actually felt despair from a child. Blum hurriedly stopped him. It was because of Bloom's reminder that Michael snapped out of his fear. Seeing this, Serki spoke up. Drawing a weapon during a parley is a great disrespect. Gord said, pointing a long sword at a noble before a duel is a very serious crime. Blum said, this was just my son's foolish act. There's no need to be concerned with him. But Gord was not prepared to let it go. How do you plan to take responsibility for this matter? Blum looked at Michael, wondering why he would lose his composure like this. In Michael's eyes, Damien was like a behemoth from the abyss. Being looked at by him felt like he had already become prey. Gord clearly didn't want to let such a good opportunity to cause trouble slip by. Since it has already happened, I won't pursue it too much. Blum clearly couldn't believe Gord would let it go so easily. Sure enough, Gord said he wanted to add a new stake to the duel. Looking at Gord's smug face, whatever the stake, our Blum family accepts it all. Let's settle this in the dueling arena. He then prepared to leave. Blum called out to Michael, who was still immersed in shock. We're leaving. Seeing Blum at a disadvantage, Gord was exceptionally happy and said, we'll see you in the dueling arena. After Blum had walked away, Gord said, Michael didn't draw his sword at me. Why did he draw it at you? Damien said nonchalantly, I have no idea why he reacted so strongly. In truth, Damien was also slightly surprised. Michael has actually developed a sixth sense for combat. At the same time, Michael turned back and stared intently at Damien. Why did you draw your sword just now? Doing that is a taboo among nobles. Father, did you see? Damien Harkson. He actually smiled when he saw me draw my sword. It was as if he knew I was going to draw my sword. Hearing this, Blum was incredibly shocked. But the next moment, Michael showed an excited expression. I have never met an opponent that I've looked forward to this much. Blum couldn't imagine it. This was the first time Michael had shown such an expression since he was born. Father, I'm sorry. I got a little too excited. How was the trouble I caused resolved in the end? Don't worry about it. No matter what stake is added, the final victory will belong to our Blum family. In a short while, the duel had officially begun. The first duel was of great importance. This concerned the morale of the soldiers. Just as Gord was thinking about the order of the fighters, a voice came from behind. The person who came was Sebastian Vincent. Mr. Damien should be saved to deal with Michael. I can recommend a candidate for the first fight. Damien looked back at the three of them. As long as it's not one of these three, it's fine. Damien said, I agree with Sir Vincent's proposal. Vincent gave him a grateful look and said, the candidate I recommend for the first fight is my son, Fabian. Fabian stated that he would definitely not let his father down and would win this victory for the Duke. I've heard that Vincent's son is also a very talented warrior. I hope he can bring us victory. Damien's expression tensed. The knight sent out by the Blum family was named Ronald. Fabian looked at the man in front of him. I am Fabian, a knight serving the Gord family. State your name. My name is Ronald. I'm just a commoner. Hearing this, Fabian was enraged. A mere commoner dares to participate in a battle between knights? The next moment, Fabian had disappeared from his spot. An afterimage rushed towards Ronald. The soldiers watching from the sidelines were shocked. Knight Fabian's speed is truly terrifying. In just a blink of an eye, his sharp blade was already slashing down at Ronald. At the last moment, Ronald easily dodged the attack. This startled Fabian, who then adjusted his attack rhythm. Only then did Fabian show a look of fear. It seemed he wasn't on the same level as him at all. He then continued to try to use the advantage of his long saber to hit Ronald. But Ronald took out a long sword from behind him. A seemingly slow strike was, in fact, swung from the side like lightning. Fabian's expression froze. His arm flew off in an instant. Gord didn't even have time to react. Fabian was defeated in a single moment. Ronald spoke slowly. I don't care if you're a noble or a commoner. All I want is victory. Seeing this, Blum was very happy. Victory always belongs to our Blum family. The man's first swordsmanship duel shocked everyone around him. You must know, not long ago, the man was a good-for-nothing with no strength to even truss a chicken. But now, he had defeated his opponent with overwhelming force. So Fabian lost the first duel. Even though Damien knew this duel would be lost, he didn't expect the opponent to be so cruel. At this moment, Gord stared intently at the Blum family. He clearly hadn't expected them to be so ruthless. The Blum family had become frenzied in their pursuit of victory. Damien, what do you think we should do for the next round? The soldiers behind him unanimously felt that Damien should go up. Damien said, I will follow the Duke's arrangement. But if I go up first, there will be no one left to defeat Michael in the next round. I can recommend someone for the second match for the Duke. Gord was very curious who it was. The next moment, Paul, the second fight is up to you. Go and think carefully about my training. You can definitely win this round. Gord said that Paul was not a particularly outstanding knight, but Damien said he had already trained him. The current Paul can definitely win this match. You can rest assured, Duke. At this moment, Paul was already trembling with fear. He didn't understand why Damien wanted him to go up. The scene of Fabian's shoulder being chopped off was still vivid in his mind. He was still young. He didn't want to become one-armed. Are you the knight from the Gord family? You look completely unreliable. My name is Huey. State your name. At this moment, Paul seemed not to hear his words, only thinking that he was definitely not his opponent. You really disappoint me. I thought Damien Harkson would be the one to fight. I didn't expect the Duke to send a weakling like you. Let me end this farce quickly. Sword aura began to cover his longsword. Seeing this, Paul forced himself to concentrate. In the blink of an eye, the man was about to strike Paul. But before Paul could react, his body subconsciously dodged. But due to inertia, Paul fell hard to the ground. Huey was in disbelief. Did he actually block my attack? It must be a coincidence. At this moment, Paul was also very puzzled. Why does this feeling seem so familiar? Before Paul could think, Huey's attack came again. Paul once again dodged the attack in a very sorry state. But this also kicked up dust, obscuring his vision. The next moment, Huey's attack suddenly emerged from the dust. It was as if Paul could see the attack, his body moving completely subconsciously. Huey absolutely did not believe this was a coincidence. The first 2 times could be explained as coincidence, but the third time, his vision was obscured by dust. At this moment, Paul was even more shocked than Huey. I can actually block his attacks. He looked back at Damien. Is this why you believed I would definitely win? Damien looked at Paul. It seems you've understood something. In the previous training, I was always using the Blum family's Lion King sword art to whip Paul. After countless training sessions, Paul's body has developed muscle memory for the Lion King sword art. This is why, even when you can't see the attack, your body moves subconsciously. Looking at Huey's sword moves now, Paul realized his speed is so slow. The seemingly fast attacks were not on the same level as Damien Harkson's. Paul sees the flaw in Huey's attack, thinking gratefully, "Thank you, Damien. You made me surpass myself." The next moment, the long sword had pierced his opponent's neck. At this moment, Gord was in disbelief. He had actually won the match. Paul said, "You are strong, but I have surpassed myself." The feeling of winning a duel is not bad at all. At this moment, Gord's face became solemn. As expected, it's him in the end. Michael State appeared extremely excited. "Damien Harkson, I've been waiting for you for a long time. I hope you can bring me a brand new experience. I'm incredibly looking forward to our duel." But Damien said, "I'm not looking forward to it all. In all these years, no one has ever been able to excite me like you. I've been waiting for an opponent who can fight me as an equal." Hearing this, Damien smiled. "An equal opponent, you say? Are you kidding me?" He then attacked with an extremely strong sword intent, shouting, "Damien Harkson, you'd better not disappoint me." The man just swung his sword simply, and it made the Sword King at the side tremble. You must know, his own swordsmanship had almost reached the pinnacle. "Why do I still feel the threat of death from him?" He said with a tremble. "Damien Harkson is unfathomably deep." The defeated Huey requested Blum to execute him, for he had brought shame to the Blum family. "You've already done your best. It's just that the opponent was stronger than you. Besides, you don't need to worry. We have Michael. Michael has never been defeated." Huey strongly agreed. Michael's strength had completely surpassed their comprehension. He then told Huey to get some rest first. Watching Huey's departing back, Blum understood that Huey was much stronger than his opponent. But no matter how Huey attacked, the opponent could perfectly dodge his attacks. The Lion King sword art is passed down orally, yet it was still leaked. At this moment, Michael's body couldn't stop trembling. It was the first time he had felt his heart race like this. For the first time, I've felt it. An opponent who can stand on the same level as me. I will definitely defeat him. I will keep the victory within the Blum family. Michael has been learning swordsmanship from his father since he was a child. He was incredibly excited when he first started learning. No matter how difficult the technique, Michael only needed one look to learn it. He had an unparalleled dedication to swordsmanship. He also wanted to see the other master swordsmen in the world. But through constant battles, Michael became numb. He had no motivation. He had originally looked forward to dueling with renowned sword knights, but he never expected them to be unimaginably weak. Gradually, Michael began to feel bored with swordsmanship. He couldn't find an opponent who could fight him. until Michael saw Damien. Just by standing in front of him, his body couldn't help but tremble. Damien Harkson, this is the opponent I've dreamed of. Please don't let me down. You're the only one I believe can fight me on equal terms. But Damien showed a disdainful smile. Are you talking about an equal fight? Are you joking? As soon as the words fell, in just the span of a breath, Michael had already attacked Damien. But Michael's attack was like a snail in Damien's eyes. He dodged Michael's swift strike with a simple turn of his head. Seeing this, Michael smiled. This is a truly interesting fight. Then, he spun his long sword, wanting to swing it at Damien from the side. Damien just lightly punched the body of the sword. Michael was sent flying by the immense force. Michael's face was full of shock. He didn't even see how Damien threw the punch. Following that, Damien kicked fiercely at Michael. Michael hurriedly raised his long sword in front of his chest to block. Just this one blow sent Michael flying several meters. Michael's face was full of excitement. His face was filled with fanatical joy. The next moment, he charged forward, gathering power. Countless afterimages appeared, the speed too fast to see. He directly pierced through Damien, but Damien had only left an afterimage in his place. At this moment, Michael was startled. Damien was clearly still in the same spot. Why did it seem like I saw him move countless steps? Damien still had an incredibly relaxed expression, looking at Michael. As expected, the feeling you give me isn't wrong. You are the strongest opponent I've ever met. His aura sword, the Lion King's swordsmanship followed, attacking Damien. But before Michael could get close, he was instantly forced back several meters by a powerful aura. At this moment, Michael muttered to himself, "How can this be?" Just by relying on his own aura, he made my attacks unable to harm him in the slightest. He spoke with a tremble. "Compared to me, you look more like a monster." Then he leaped up, shouting, "Draw your sword quickly. Let me see the gap between us. Then I will grant your wish." He placed his palm lightly on his long sword. Michael showed a triumphant look. "You're too late to draw your sword. Even if you do, my attack will hit you first." But the next moment, Michael felt cold sweat pouring down his body. His long sword was instantly broken. Damien had only swung his sword lightly, and he had already been slain on the spot. What on earth happened? Michael couldn't believe it. Did I lose? Damien Harkson, he and I are not opponents on the same level at all. At this moment, Blum shouted from outside the arena. "Michael, what are you doing? Stand up, draw your sword, and attack." At this moment, Michael was completely engulfed in fear. What just happened? I'm still alive. My head is still attached. Looking at Damien in front of him, Michael now understood how ridiculous his previous actions had been. Was everything just now an illusion? It was too real. Then Michael fell to his knees. The once invincible holy sword in the hands of the sword saint is now tossed in a broken corner, ignored by all. Everyone thought this broken sword was useless, but the man still spent his entire fortune to buy it. Only the man understood that the magical aura of this sword was a perfect match for him. As it turned out, the man only swung it once, and defeated the man known as the Sword King. At this moment, Bloom's face was full of anger. As the victor, Gord actually invited them to a party. Gord completely ignored Bloom's murderous gaze, shouting that there would be plenty of wine tonight. The man was just about to express his thanks for the Duke's invitation when he met Bloom's angry glare and could only shut his mouth. "Blum, although we had conflicts before, it's all over now. Let's be happy. This is a fine wine I've treasured for decades." At this moment, Blum was extremely unwilling in his heart. Looking at Gord's expression, it was truly infuriating. But thinking back, just who is Damien Harkson to actually make Michael concede without even drawing his sword? At this time, Damien was also a little surprised that the Duke would invite the Blum family to the victory celebration. On the surface, perhaps the Duke invited them to make it livelier, but in fact, he probably did it just to mock Blum. However, none of this had much to do with him. While defeating the Blum family, he should try not to anger them, because it wasn't yet time to completely fall out with the Blum family. Right now, he had more important things to do. That is the Dark Mages. "Mr. Damien, may I sit next to you?" Damien looked up slightly. It was Michael. Damien said it was no problem. A drunk Michael said, "I have great respect for you, Mr. Damien. Are you drunk?" Michael spoke on his own. "I thought there was no one in the world who could pique my interest anymore. But Mr. Damien, you are beyond my imagination. Mr. Damien, your strength shocks me. Even now, I don't know how I lost. I only know that if I had swung that sword, I would have died completely. Damien understood. This was Michael having already surpassed ordinary humans and awakened a supernatural perception. In his perception, he pulled me into his dimension and foresaw the outcome. And in that foreseen battle, his supernatural perception issued a warning. Damien's level far surpassed Michael's. This is why Michael felt the fear of being killed. Damien looked at Michael with relief. Your awakened instinct saved you. Hearing this, Michael looked at the night sky, sighing that this world was much vaster than he had imagined. Michael, you must remember, there are far more powerful people in this world than we imagine. Your talent is extremely rare, but there are quite a few people stronger than you. Even within the country, there are at least 3 or 4 people stronger than you. So always remain humble. Never think you're the strongest. I once thought I was the strongest. In the end, because of my arrogance, I was ambushed by the Skull King and transformed into his strongest weapon. Michael looked at Damien with admiration. Even someone as strong as Damien held such humble thoughts. The next moment, Gord and Blum walked towards the two of them. What are you two talking about? Blum, it looks like Michael and Damien are getting along well. We were just discussing battle techniques. Your Grace, is there something you need? I just finished talking with Blum. Before the duel, I made a bet with Blum. I promised to give you a reward for winning the match. But this guy is trying to back out now. Blum shouted, the Mostar treasury has never been open to outsiders. Besides, Damien bullied my child, Brian. But given the current situation, I won't pursue it. Although I can't give you access to the treasury right now, I have prepared another gift as compensation. He then took out a box. This is one of the reward items from the competition. A ring containing spatial magic. Damien was slightly surprised. Spatial rings are extremely rare treasures. Inside, there is a space of 100 square units. It can store any item. Before Blum could finish, Damien hurriedly took the ring. As Damien fiddled with the ring in his hand, Blum said that although he couldn't open the treasury for him to enter freely, he could pick one weapon from the treasury. Hearing this, Damien thought for a moment. It seemed he didn't need anything at the moment. The next moment, Damien seemed to remember something. At this point in time, that item should still be in the treasury. Damien then said he did have something he wanted. I want a jet black longbow from the treasury. Blum was surprised. You're a swordsman. Why do you want a longbow? Damien said there was no special reason. He just wanted to find a bow as a wedding gift for his brother. At this time, Damien's brother, far away, broke out in a cold sweat. Did someone just mention me behind my back? They've shown themselves. They've shown themselves. The hidden dark mage has finally appeared. Not only did he control the mid-rank knight, Saiwo, he even wanted to refine Damien into his exclusive puppet. It turned out that the next day, everyone returned to the Duke's mansion. You just got back, and you're already preparing to leave? We were just about to hold a grand victory party for you. Damien said he had been away from home for too long and missed his family very much. Damien, no one can stop you once you've made a decision. But at least wait one more day. You've helped me so much. At least let me arrange for an escort to take you home. Damien said, I don't need an escort. I know you're stronger than most people, but at least let me do something for you. Since it's the Duke's goodwill, I'll accept. He then expressed his sincere thanks, hoping to have the opportunity to help the Duke again in the future. Damien then hurriedly took Victor home. Young master, you're finally back. Thankfully, you've solved the trouble with the debt. Hearing this, Damien gritted his teeth. He really knows how to hit me where it hurts. Sir Damien, it's getting dark. Let's make camp here. Damien looked around. Traveling late at night was indeed very dangerous. Then they prepared to eat and rest well. 2 guards were on watch. Victor shouted for them to come and eat. The wilderness isn't as dangerous as you think. The guards expressed their thanks, saying they would take care of their own meals in a bit. At this moment, Damien was spacing out. When they heard he was leaving, Paul and the other 2 showed reluctant expressions. At first, Damien thought they had taken the wrong medicine. Why are they suddenly so reluctant to see me go? Paul said, if it weren't for Mr. Damien, I would never have been able to broaden my horizons. Damien pulled his hand away in mock disgust, saying, this is all the result of your own efforts. Paul and the others said they would always remember Damien's teachings. Then they bowed deeply to Damien. Mr. Damien, you are our true life mentor. Snapping back to reality, Damien saw Victor inviting the guards to eat. The 2 exchanged a look, both indicating they felt a hint of killing intent. Sir Damien, we'll go scout the surroundings first. As soon as the words fell, an extremely fast attack came from the air. Damien shouted, get away from there. Before the man could react, he was pierced by the attack and sent flying several meters. Damien was slightly startled. Why does this weapon look so familiar? Then Damien stared intently into the depths of the forest. A deep voice rang out. Do you think the guards sent by the Duke can protect you? The spear on the guard's body trembled uncontrollably. The next moment, it flew backwards, heading into the depths of the forest. You can't stop me. I will have revenge for Miss Chelsea. Seeing this, the other guard was shocked motionless. You're Mr. Saiwo. How did you become like this? Damien said, Saiwo, why are you doing this? Have you betrayed the Duke? You don't need to say so much nonsense. The current Saiwo can't hear you. The current Saiwo works for us. The other guard only smelled a slightly sweet fragrance, and his body began to go numb. Seeing this, Damien didn't hesitate and knocked Victor unconscious first. The dark mage spoke. Break your own neck. The next moment, the guard placed his hands on his neck, ready to do it. Damien understood he was already under control. Helpless, he could only knock him out. It seems your target is me. We've been watching you for a long time. You clearly don't look that strong, yet you can resist the fragrance of the dark magic, marionette. I really want to turn you into a puppet and study the structure of your body. Go, my little toy Saiwo. We've modified your body with dark magic. Go kill Damien. Let's quickly turn him into a toy too. On the surface, the woman is a delicate and pitifully cute girl, but behind the scenes, she is a feared dark archmage. Not only did she use black magic to control Saiwo, known as the Sword King of the Gale, she even transformed him into a host for demonic power. The dark mage wanted to kill Damien and turn him into the best puppet. Saiwo said, I've finally found you, Damien. I will tear your body apart and offer it to Miss Chelsea. You and the Duke conspired to kill Miss Chelsea. Damien showed a disdainful expression. How ridiculous. When Silky was making the arrest, you were so scared you didn't dare to move. How dare a coward like you say such things now? Hearing this, Saiwo's expression became twisted. The woman beside him soothed Saiwo, then said, Mr. Damien, you are really going too far. Your words are just rubbing salt in Mr. Saiwo's wounds. I don't understand how you can still be so calm. You don't think you can fight the three of us alone, do you? You two are both members of a Yulon organization, right? Most likely at the management level. Hearing this, the woman was startled. How do you know my identity? We've never met like this before. I'll tell you this much. I heard everything you planned in Chelsea's room. Even so, you can't change anything. Saiwo, go kill him. The next moment, an extremely fast attack rushed towards Damien. But Damien made no move to defend himself. Following that, a figure blocked the way in front of Damien. This made the dark mage at the side show a shocked expression. He then repelled Saiwo's attack. Damien smiled slightly. You seem to have a misunderstanding. It's not that I'm surrounded by you, but that you've fallen into our trap. The newcomer was none other than Vincent. Previously, when Damien told the Duke he was going home, the Duke mentioned that Saiwo had gone missing. Saiwo always had special feelings for Chelsea, so I'm worried he might be a threat to you. Damien said he would be careful. The Duke said, more importantly, you destroyed the Dark Mage's plan. It's very likely they will target you too. I have Silky's protection by my side. The Dark Mages wouldn't dare to touch me. So this time, for your trip home, I've already arranged a helper for you. This is the best person I could arrange. Damien was slightly stunned. He is Sir Vincent of the Peak mid-rank. Everyone else happened to have missions. Only Vincent is currently not on assignment. Damien was very glad that he had accepted the Duke's request for an escort. At this moment, the group of dark mages was filled with shock. They never expected the Duke to have calculated this far. Although the Duke said it was to protect him, Damien actually understood that he was being used as bait. At this time, Saiwo said, Vincent, we haven't seen each other in a long time. Saiwo, how dare you collude with dark mages? As long as I'm here, I will absolutely not let you harm Sir Damien. Saiwo said, I must avenge Miss Chelsea. It was Damien and the Duke who conspired to kill Miss Chelsea. Miss Chelsea's scarred appearance. She must have suffered inhuman torture. I will absolutely never forgive you. I will send all of you to hell. At this moment, the dark mage revealed a triumphant smile. Saiwo is completely under my control. Don't worry. After I kill Damien, I'll send the Duke to accompany him. Vincent said, Saiwo, are you insane? You actually want to assassinate the Duke. At this moment, Damien stared intently at Saiwo, not expecting him to be controlled. Vincent was furious. How dare you say such arrogant words about assassinating the Duke? It's infuriating. Damien looked at Vincent beside him. Indeed, the aura of a peak mid-rank. Seeing this, Saiwo showed no signs of panic, grabbing his own clothes with his hand. Vincent's face showed disbelief. Saiwo is actually willing to sell his soul, overdrawing his life force to increase his power. Are you insane? To actually hand your life over to dark magic. Saiwo's way of increasing power is different from others. He overdraws his life for only 3 months in exchange for immense physical potential. At this moment, the aura of 100 battles was being battered as if by raging waves. Saiwo's aura was surging at a terrifying rate. This power made both of them feel a little shaky. Saiwo shouted, "Don't worry. It will be over soon. You won't feel any pain." An attack containing a terrifying aura swept out, attacking Damien and the other. With this one blow, a small half of the forest was completely destroyed. After a while, Damien was still standing in the same spot. It seems he has gone completely insane. His attacks have become wild and disorderly. Looking at Saiwo's crazed expression, I must kill him here. The man just used a basic sword drawing slash and shocked the dark magus beside him. This was the lost ultimate technique of the Blade Saint from 100 years ago. One sword to break all laws. Damien, who dodged the attack, was slightly surprised. This power fluctuation has clearly surpassed the mid-rank. It's just that Saiwo has lost himself to the power. Power obtained at the cost of sacrificing life energy. Saiwo is beyond saving. Saiwo was greatly shocked. How could my attack have no effect? Saiwo, how much do you look down on me to actually use such a low-level attack method? I'm not some reckless fool who only knows how to act rashly. Mr. Damien, I'll hold Saiwo off. You can go back to the Duke's mansion and request reinforcements. Damien was stunned for half a second. Vincent, you have to hold on until I get back. Then he picked up Victor, who was beside him, and fled towards the Duke's territory without any hesitation. Seeing this, the dark mages were greatly surprised. I didn't expect this guy to run so fast. The two of them also pursued Damien without stopping. Saiwo shouted, "Damien, don't even think about escaping from me." He was about to give chase when a long sword attacked from the side. Seeing this, Saiwo immediately raised his spear to block the attack. Saiwo shouted, "Vincent, you dare to stop me. I am a knight who swore allegiance to the Duke. How dare you speak of assassinating the Duke in front of me? The Duke killed Chelsea. You don't understand my pain at all." What followed was a huge roaring sound echoing through the forest. Damien whispered, "It seems Sir Vincent has started fighting." Just then, 2 afterimages flashed across the sky, blocking Damien's path the next moment. To actually abandon Sir Vincent and run away alone. That's not a good decision. What's more, you're even carrying this fat guy. It's even more impossible to escape. Damien smiled slightly. Do you really think I was trying to escape? If I weren't carrying Victor, you wouldn't be able to catch up to me at all. I just wanted to lure you two over here. With Vincent around, I can't fight with my full strength. I must finish you two quickly and then go save Vincent. Hearing this, the dark mages were stunned, showing expressions of disbelief. What an arrogant guy, to actually want to fight the two of us alone. Just how arrogant are you? I'll make you pay the price. Streaks of dark magic began to swirl around him. In just a moment, the dark mage's body was enveloped in extremely strong magic, and his body began to swell uncontrollably. Damien just glanced at him, unable to help but sigh that dark mages are all monsters. Facing me like this, Damien, do you still have the confidence to fight? I'm the branch chief of the Yulon organization, Mustum. I thought you were an ordinary member of the Yulon organization. I didn't expect you to be a branch chief, Damien said. You've twisted your body with dark magic. It seems you're a member of the fanatical faction. The next moment, an extremely fast attack came from behind. Damien, I detest this attitude of yours. Damien hurriedly blocked with his hands. It seemed like a casual punch, but Damien was instantly sent flying several meters. The dark mage showed a triumphant look. You can't even block such a simple attack. Damien understood. Just from the destructive power and speed, the dark mage's power had already surpassed the mid-rank level. Before Damien could react, countless tentacles rushed towards him. Damien also quickly dodged around. If he kept dodging like this, he would have no chance to counterattack. The next moment, he was forced into a corner. Damien was startled. I can't dodge this. Damn bug, just tie my hands. The next moment, Damien just slightly raised his palm. The originally heavy attack was casually deflected. This was an ability Damien had mastered in his previous life. He could easily deflect the opponent's force and redirect it. The attack that was supposed to be a sure hit actually slammed into the side. This was also thanks to the Duke. He had eaten too many body-strengthening pills at the Duke's mansion. The Dark Mage shouted, "You despicable fellow, what did you do?" No matter how he attacked, Damien nonchalantly redirected the force and direction of the attacks. "I don't have time to play with you anymore." Then he covered his long sword with his palm. He whispered, "Sword breaks all laws." In just the blink of an eye, dozens of attacks slashed across the Dark Mage's body from different directions. Along with a painful groan, the Dark Mage's body instantly disintegrated. Damien spoke coldly. "I said it would be quick. Why is this happening? You clearly look like a low-rank knight. Did you hide your power?" "Damien Hark, son, I admit your power is beyond my imagination, but it's not enough to defeat me." The next moment, the wounds actually healed completely. The power of dark magic is not something you can understand. The Dark Mage showed a triumphant smile. Damien said, "I thought I could finish you just like that. It seems you can give me a little more fun." The Dark Mage was stunned. "What are you talking about?" "I'm saying don't die so easily. I can finally use my full power." The man used sword magic for the first time in battle and made the Dark Archmagus beside him terrified. With just one blow, he instantly killed the Dark Mage's dark magic body. Even when the Dark Mage launched the forbidden art, 7 stars life-reaping death god, it turned to dust the moment it touched Damien. The battle between Saiwo and Vincent intensified. Vincent couldn't believe it. He currently had no ability to fight back. Facing each of Saiwo's attacks, he could only barely defend himself. Just defending was a struggle. He had no opportunity to attack at all. "Mr. Vincent, your face is covered in exhaustion. I really admire you for holding on for so long." Vincent only felt shame to be pushed to such a state by someone who gained power through dark magic. "Stop struggling. Vincent, your stamina has reached its limit." Although he didn't want to admit it, the current Saiwo was indeed terrifyingly strong. Looking at the sound of explosions in the distance, has Mr. Damien been caught up to as well? At this moment, Damien's face was full of excitement. "I hope he can give me more fun." The Dark Mage didn't understand where his confidence came from. A man who is about to die is still speaking to me so arrogantly. The next moment, dark magic began to condense from the man's mouth. Looking at such violent energy, it seemed he wanted to end the battle with this move. With a loud roar, an ultimate ball of magic shot towards Damien. Looking at the ultimate and violent energy, Damien's expression didn't change in the slightest. He slowly placed his long sword in front of him. He softly shouted, "Sword resonance art." Waves of magical power radiated out from the sword as the center. The dark magic ball dissipated the instant it made contact. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. His face was covered in shock. Before the other could recover from his shock, Damien attacked with the speed of lightning. In the blink of an eye, the Dark Mage's body was torn apart again. "No matter how many times you do it, I can recover." Damien glanced contemptuously. "Is that so?" He replied. The next moment, countless slashes were delivered at a speed invisible to the naked eye. The Dark Mage shouted at this moment, "Faster. Regenerate faster." Suddenly, fear appeared on his face. "Why has the regeneration stopped? Are you surprised? Why your regeneration has failed? Regeneration requires a large amount of magic to support it. Why do you know so much about us? You are not yet qualified to know the reason. I will let you die without pain." Suddenly, the Dark Mage laughed loudly. "Your focus on fighting me is the reason for your defeat. Rebecca now, kill him. Thank you very much for buying me time." The summoning ritual for the 7th layer of Demon God power is complete. He whispered, "Demon God who destroys the world, go and destroy the ominous person before you." Suddenly, a fanatical and incomparably evil skeletal death god instantly appeared. The death god scythe was already aimed at Damien's neck. The two of them laughed loudly. "Anyone who opposes us must die." Just as Damien was about to be torn to shreds, an insignia of authority appeared on the back of Damien's hand. The originally grim and terrifying death god instantly let out a miserable scream until it dissipated on the spot. At this moment, the Dark Mages stood stunned, muttering, "How is this possible? And I gave you so much time to prepare. So that summon was your trump card? This is an ability we pursue that can kill a high-rank warrior in one hit. And you call it an inferior ability?" Hearing this, Damien laughed out loud. "Are you satisfied with this kind of power? You haven't seen a truly terrifying being. The dark magic you're obsessed with is merely a low-level power parasitized by the Skull King. Since you're all about to die, I'll let you see real black magic. Next episode. The bracelet emits bursts of dark, lightning-like magic. The bracelet emits a dark magical power. At this moment, Damien seems to be the sole ruler of the darkness. In that instant, the two dark mages felt their senses completely stripped away, and they cried out in panic. With my current ability, I can only unleash 10% of its power. However, no one in your organization should have ever seen this. Dark Abyss, a black hole that could devour all things, appeared in the night sky. Damien chuckled lightly. Dark Abyss began devouring, crushed them completely. At this point, the two had no thought of resistance, only despair filled with terror. As they were being crushed, they screamed, "How could someone summon the power of the ninth layer?" As soon as the words fell, the Dark Abyss instantly exploded. To be able to die by the dark magic you're so obsessed with, I suppose it's a fitting end. The man had just casually released an attack, and it obliterated the dark mages. The man was once the Death Knight who destroyed the kingdom, and the first thing he did upon his return was to seek revenge. After the man finished the kill, he heard his servant waking up beside him. Damien said, "Victor, you have something on your face." Victor touched his face in confusion. "What is this?" The next moment, he screamed out, "This is blood." He fainted instantly. Is this guy really that timid? I just wanted him to wipe it off. Speaking of which, I killed the dark mages and forgot to ask them for information. Although I don't want to use this skill, I should search for any available information first. He began to explore for information at the location where the dark mages died. An information orb refracted from the place of death. This was an ability he had mastered as a Death Knight in his past life. It could extract information by consuming the souls of the deceased. At this moment, Vincent was under attack by Saiwo. Vincent's stamina had reached its limit. He had no strength left to counterattack. He still couldn't believe he would lose to Saiwo, who had offered his soul to the darkness. Saiwo walked towards Vincent, looking very pleased with himself. "I will let you die without any pain." Damien's voice rang in his ears. "Sir Vincent, you've performed exceptionally well." Damien was seen walking slowly towards the two. "I was originally planning to kill Vincent before looking for you. Now you've delivered yourself to my doorstep. You're not qualified to kill me. Let me see what abilities you have to kill me. If you take another step closer, you will die instantly in the next moment. I don't know where you get your confidence." He postured to attack Damien. Damien stood motionless, just as the attack was about to hit. Damien crushed the soul of the summoned dark mage. At that very moment, Saiwo's attack could no longer advance an inch. Saiwo's body was completely immobilized, as if his power had been drained in an instant. The next moment, he fell to the ground, without even the strength to stand up. The dark magic on his body also dissipated at the same time. He used the last of his strength to get up, wanting to crush Damien. But in the end, he could only lose his breath and was unable to stand. Saiwo's body had been invaded by the dark mage's spell. When the dark mages were completely obliterated, his spell was fully nullified and dispelled. Vincent, with a dazed look, asked what on earth had happened. "It's just that his spell was dispelled by me. Let's return to the Duke's mansion first. Sir Vincent, you are heavily injured." The next morning, Gord expressed his gratitude to Sir Vincent. "You protected Damien very dutifully." Vincent stated that it was Damien who had saved him. If not for him, he would have already died. "Mr. Damien, you always manage to surprise me. I just did what I had to do. Your Grace the Duke, there's no need to be so polite." Gord said that he could now be at ease. This could be considered revenge for Chelsea. Damien looked at the Duke. Damien understood that the Duke was still very sad inside. "Since the incident is over, I should also return to my family as soon as possible. Regarding your return home, Mr. Damien, I think you'll have to wait a little longer. There is someone who wishes to see you, Mr. Damien." Hearing this, Damien wondered who wanted to see him. The next moment, the large doors behind him were pushed open. Damien's face was filled with shock. "Why is she here?" "Mr. Damien, I've missed you so much after all these days." The woman simply extended an invitation for a meeting, which shocked Damien, who was beside her. This was because the topic of the meeting was the Necro Commander. This cruel fellow was someone who could slaughter an entire city by himself. Damien was very surprised to see Anise. The Duke was very puzzled. Are these two secretly going on a date right after meeting? At this moment, Damien and Anise were in the Duke's back garden. Gord had never expected that Damien would have such a close relationship with the church. Silky, at the side, looked helpless. This was not at all how a Duke should behave. The more Gord watched, the more something fell off. From the Duke's perspective, it looked like a young boy and girl, but they were too far away, and he couldn't hear what they were saying at all. The actual situation, however, was that Damien was telling her about how he had slain the dark mages. Anise remarked, to have so many entanglements with dark mages in such a short time. Hearing this, Damien could only laugh awkwardly. Then he said, I really didn't expect the church's investigator this time would be you. I heard that dark mages had appeared in the Duke's territory. And when I heard you were here, I applied to come over. When you killed them, did you find out which group they belonged to? Damien pondered for a moment. In order not to complicate things, I'd better hide it for now. They weren't very strong. They were probably unorganized dark mages. Anise sighed softly. I thought they might be members of the Yulon organization. You've always been fixated on the Yulon organization. Is there a reason for that? Hearing this, Anise clearly became a little flustered. Actually, I've been looking for a special mage within the Yulon organization. He is a notorious dark mage. He once slaughtered an entire city by himself. The corpse puppeteer. That's what people call him. Damien's heart jolted. He didn't expect Anise to be looking for the corpse puppeteer. Corpse puppeteer is just his title. His real name is unknown to anyone. A certain noble's territory was occupied by him. He released countless monsters and destroyed the town. It wasn't until the knights arrived that those monsters were eliminated. But in the town's central square, countless corpses were piled up. Even now, just thinking about that scene, I still feel immense fear. Looking at Anise's trembling body, Anise still hasn't told me the real reason she's pursuing the corpse puppeteer. I can feel it. Anise has a more important reason. I can't tell Anise the truth. I know the corpse puppeteer's real name very well. In my past life, I followed the Skull King, and the corpse puppeteer also pledged his loyalty to the Skull King and became the commander of the skeleton army. He led the army to fight against humans on the front lines. In my past life, I also detested him. Mr. Damien, what are you thinking about? Anise's voice pulled Damien back from his thoughts. I was just spacing out. I hope, Mr. Damien, that you can tell me if you have any news about the corpse puppeteer in the future. Of course, no problem. I've told you everything I know for now. Let's end our conversation here. He turned his head to look to the side. Your Grace the Duke, our conversation is over. Can I go home now? Of course, you can go home. I have no reason to keep you any longer, Mr. Damien. At this time, in the Harkson manor, Sister, are you waiting for Damien again? During this time, you've been waiting for Damien every day. Sister, are you really that worried about Damien? Recalling Damien's brutal appearance, he thought his sister had no need to worry so much. Just then, Damien shouted, I'm back. The man just stood there, and it made the Sword King break out in a cold sweat. You must know, not long ago, this man was just a good-for-nothing who couldn't even hold a sword steady. It turns out that in his past life, the man was controlled by the Lich King, becoming the Death Knight that everyone paled at the mention of. For 100 years, the man still retained a sliver of his human consciousness. In the end, he ended that life by suicide. But he didn't expect to wake up again back in the past. At this time, because Damien had helped the Duke resolve the Dark Mage incident, he received a large number of rewards. This made Damien's father incredulous. Did my once good-for-nothing son really do this? While his father was in shock, Damien said he had prepared a gift for him. Knowing his father loved to read, he brought back all the books from the Duke's mansion. He even brought back the poetry collections and novels his father loved. These wardrobes made of cedar wood are for Mother. I certainly wouldn't forget my sister. This is a piano personally made by Master Barrick. Then he looked at his brother at the side and coughed twice. Brother, why is your expression a bit strange? Seeing this, the brother said, It's not like I wanted a gift. Damien smiled slightly. Of course, I didn't forget you. Damien opened his palm towards the air. A gap seemed to open in the void. This is a spatial storage ring I recently obtained. This is a gift I prepared especially for you. Then he whispered in his brother's ear, If you give this to your future sister-in-law, she will definitely be very happy. You have a girl you like. As your older brother, I must help you. The brother cried out in a panic. Damien said, Don't you like Lady Olivia from the town? The brother said he did, but she might not be interested in him. Regarding this point, Damien said he had already thought it through. Soon, Olivia's family will hold a birthday banquet for her, and there will be a dueling tournament. This competition is to review the combat abilities of knights. But I can't fight at all. Damien said, You don't need to worry at all. I will fight on your behalf in the combat portion. A few days later, in the town. Have you guys heard? Lady Olivia's birthday party is holding a dueling tournament. I heard the winner will get Olivia's attention. This is a big opportunity for us. but I heard many important people are coming. The Viscount's heir, who's been all the talk recently, is also coming. I think his name is Damien Harkson. I heard he defeated the genius swordsman, Michael. We've all heard that too. And I heard he didn't even draw his sword before Michael conceded. As soon as the words fell, a man beside them laughed out loud. Seeing the woman laugh, he said, "Jackson, you also think this joke is too funny, right? Anyone with a brain wouldn't believe such a rumor. What are you saying? Are you making fun of us?" Seeing this, the woman smiled and said, "We're laughing at Damien." The man suddenly stood up. "You trash aren't even worthy of my explanation." Then he punched the man. "You trash aren't worthy of getting close to me, let alone talking to me. Besides, who allowed you to talk to my woman?" Seeing this, the crowd was furious. "You were clearly the one who started talking to us. Do you know who I am? You should all be in awe of me." Seeing this, the crowd rushed towards the man. Just as the attacks were about to hit, in the blink of an eye, everyone was sent flying in all directions. He walked toward the man at the side. "Do you really not know who I am?" The man trembled and said he really didn't know. Hearing this, the man became even more furious and threw a punch. "Sophia, don't you find it strange? The former good-for-nothing Damien has now become a well-known celebrity. Am I, Jackson the Demon Slayer, actually inferior to a piece of trash? Jackson, it's not your problem. It's just that this bunch of idiots is too ignorant." The woman thought to herself, not long ago, he was just a scoundrel. How did he become so famous now? Let's go, let's go. The man was finally going to fight for his brother's happy love life. In his past life, his brother and she fell in love at first sight. He thought his true love had finally appeared, but he never expected that, being from a Viscount family, he would be ruthlessly rejected. In the end, he even died at the hands of his beloved older brother. The next morning, Damien announced he was preparing to go to the town. His sister and mother were very reluctant. "You're leaving again, right after coming home?" "This time, I'm not going far. I'm just going to help my brother fight for his happiness." The father just looked at them. "You've grown up. If I had known earlier that you like Miss Olivia, I would have helped you arrange the proposal sooner." Harkson shyly said it was okay. "No matter the outcome this time, you two brothers must not get hurt." Afterward, the two set off on the road to the town. Victor's expression was very awkward. They are blood brothers. How can they go for hours without saying a word? Damien thought to himself, "In my past life, I don't think I talk much with my brother either." Victor thought he had to break the awkward atmosphere. He asked, "Young Master Harkson, how did you fall in love with Miss Olivia?" Hearing this, Harkson's face turned bright red. "Why would you suddenly ask me that question?" Victor said he was just curious. Damien, at the side, was also curious. In his past life, he only knew his brother loved Lady Olivia, but he really didn't know the reason. "Harkson, I'm also very curious about this. I'm even preparing to help you propose. Just satisfy my curiosity." Harkson began to recall. "It was 4 years ago. Father took me to a banquet for the Western nobles. That was the first time I saw Miss Olivia. The moment she appeared, I was completely captivated. A dark green dress, paired with light brown hair. She was simply the most perfect woman in my heart. I fantasized about how wonderful it would be if she were my wife." Hearing this, both of them had faces of disbelief. This guy just thinks she's pretty. Damien didn't know how the two of them got in touch in his past life, but there was no doubt it was mutual love. However, Olivia's father rejected Harkson's marriage proposal. In the end, Harkson washed his face with tears until he became a death knight and died at my own hands. Since then, I never heard of him having any other romantic experiences in his life. He silently vowed to himself, I must help Harkson fulfill his wish. Harkson, at the side, didn't understand why Damien suddenly became so enthusiastic. This town is really far. It took 3 days by carriage to get here. Is this really a birthday banquet? It feels more like a city-wide celebration. Just then, an old man stopped them and asked where they were from. "We are members of the Viscount Harkson family." The old man looked at the list. "Are you Mr. Damien Harkson?" Damien said he came to the banquet with his younger brother. "I am Miss Olivia's butler. Accommodations for the 3 of you have been arranged. You may use this room as you please. If you need anything, please do not hesitate to ask me." This Earl is really thoughtful, even preparing a separate room for us. A typical Viscount wouldn't get this kind of treatment. It's probably because my reputation has grown a lot recently. Anyway, I'm going to go out for a walk. You guys stay in the room. Harkson shouted, "I can't do that. I made a promise to Father." Damien asked in confusion, "What promise?" "It's just that. If you're going to cause trouble, Father told me to stop you. Relax and rest. I'm no longer the troublemaker I used to be." As soon as his voice fell, a woman bumped into Damien. Damien was wondering what happened when a man in the distance shouted and came running over. He grabbed Damien and said, "Hey you, watch where you're going." The next moment, the man spoke in confusion. "Are you Damien? It really is you. You really are Damien Harkson." Damien frowned slightly, as if pondering something. At this moment, the woman spoke. "I really didn't expect to see you here." Damien spoke in confusion. "Revenge, revenge." Damien just lightly swung his arm and defeated the man known as the Demon Hunter. This made the woman beside him break out in a cold sweat. This was not the kind of power a so-called good-for-nothing could display. You see, Damien was the fiancé she had abandoned not long ago. Now, he seemed like a completely different person. Just before this, Damien had expressed confusion, saying he didn't know them at all. "Also, I really hate being grabbed by the neck." Seeing this, Harkson asked what was happening. "Are you Sophia?" Hearing this, Damien muttered, "Harkson, who on earth is Sophia?" "Sophia was your former fiancée. Have you really forgotten?" Only then did Damien seriously size up the two people in front of him. It seemed she really was his fiancée from his past life. He recalled that back then, Sophia had betrayed their engagement to be with Jackson. Even though he tried his best to make her stay, the outcome didn't change. He vaguely remembered Jackson arrogantly stating, "Low-class trash isn't even worthy of getting close to us." And Sophia had also stated, "Our engagement was just to follow our elders' agreement." What's more, the Harkson family has long since fallen into a lower-class nobility. In other words, the current Harkson family is not worthy of me at all. And Jackson looked at him with a contemptuous gaze. The feeling of humiliation. He would never forget it from his past life. He mustered the courage to vent the humiliation in his heart. He was determined to make this woman pay the price. Back then, he was no match for Jackson at all. In the end, he was thrown to the ground like a dead dog. Thinking about it now, although it was a long time ago, it still made him angry. The next moment, Sophia said, "I know you don't want to see me. You don't have to pretend you don't know me. You're so pathetic." "Sophia, so it's just as you said. This poor wretch is afraid to see us. I'm so happy to see you. I just want to shake your hand. You wouldn't dare, would you?" Damien had a speechless expression. This guy really wants to embarrass me. Then, with a smiling face, he said, "We are friends after all. Of course, I'll do as you wish." Seeing this, Jackson was overjoyed. This guy still fell for it. But the next moment, Jackson was lifted up in an instant and then slammed hard onto the ground. This left Sophia at the side in disbelief. And Damien said in a mocking tone, "Sorry, I subconsciously used too much force." The fallen Jackson's fingers twitched. The next moment, he suddenly stood up and roared in fury. "How dare you embarrass me? I'm going to kill you, Damien Harkson." With that, he prepared to draw his sword and charge at Damien. Just then, a whisper sounded from behind. "Jackson, stop. I didn't expect the former good-for-nothing to have changed so much. Jackson, you are no longer his match." Looking at the person who had arrived, Damien smiled slightly. "It seems you know me quite well. Jackson, put away your sword. You and he are no longer opponents on the same level. You've had enough fun for today. It's time to go back." Clearly, Jackson didn't want to let it go, shouting, "This guy actually embarrassed me so much." The next moment, a grim voice replied, "Jackson, I order you to go back now." He then turned and left. Seeing this, Damien was a little puzzled. They're leaving just like that? Just then, the man turned and spoke. "I am Jackner. Remember my name well. We will meet again soon, Damien Harkson. It's starting. The battle in the dueling arena has officially begun, and the man's opponent in the first duel was his love rival, Jackson. Just before this, Jackner had taken Jackson away from Damien. Jackson didn't understand. "Master, why did you stop me? I can easily defeat someone like Damien." But as soon as he finished speaking, Jackson's throat was grabbed tightly. "Jackson, I told you, don't cause any conspicuous actions when we're here. Did you take my words as a joke?" Hearing this, Jackson felt his master's fierce gaze and apologized in a hoarse voice. Then Jackner said, "This is the first and last time. There's one more thing you don't seem to understand. If I hadn't stopped you, you would have already died at Damien's hands." Jackson showed a look of disbelief, shouting, "How could I possibly lose to that piece of trash?" Jackner muttered, "I don't know what happened to Damien, but his aura is bone-chilling. His power has far surpassed yours. If you don't want to die, don't provoke him. Do you still remember the sole purpose of our coming here? Just win the tournament." "Master, I don't understand why you want me to participate in the tournament. You want me to please Lady Olivia, but I'm already engaged to Sophia. You just need to obey my orders. And yet you dare to question my decision because of a woman? Jackson met the man's gaze again and tremblingly said he had misspoken. Jackner said, "You winning the tournament is particularly important for my plan. As long as you win the tournament, my wish will be one step closer. That is my lifelong dream. I will step into the Grandmaster level." Jackson was incredibly shocked inside. Master is going to step into the Grandmaster level? Jackner said, "You just focus on preparing for the tournament. I'll go gather information on the other participants." Outside the tent, Sophia watched Jackner leave and hurriedly ran into the tent. "Jackson, are you okay? What happened to your neck?" Jackson said it was nothing serious, then spoke with a hint of complaint. "The old man wants me to win the tournament, but won't tell me how it's related to him becoming a Grandmaster. And then there's Damien. When I reach the intermediate rank, I will definitely kill you." The tournament officially began. In the arena, everyone looked seriously at the side. "Is that the rumored Damien Harkson?" Seeing this, Victor whispered, "Young master, your reputation is greater than I imagined." Just then, Chester announced, "Welcome, everyone. Today we are grandly holding a birthday party for my daughter, Olivia. Many knights will also be fighting in this dueling arena. The victorious contestant will have the opportunity to have dinner with my daughter." Harkson's face showed a trace of worry. Damien gave him a reassuring look, indicating, "Leave everything to me." Chester spoke with dissatisfaction, "Olivia, I'm holding a grand banquet for you. You can at least look a little happier." Olivia replied in a cold tone, "I never asked Father to do this. Father is only doing this to show off the family's prestige. Whatever you think, let's enjoy this feast of battle for now." The first event of the tournament is the monster hunt. All the spectators were cheering for the contestants they favored, and Damien, whose reputation had recently soared, was seen by many as a favorite to win. The battle was to be conducted in teams. Jackson never expected to be in the same group as Damien. Just then, the gate of a nearby cage was suddenly opened. The next moment, everyone showed a look of disbelief and muttered, "This has to be a joke." A 4-meter-tall troll appeared before everyone with a roar. The contestant in front was so terrified he couldn't move, but Damien just watched quietly ahead. In the blink of an eye, the spot where the man had been standing was instantly crushed. Blood splattered through the air onto Damien's face. Damien smiled slightly. "I really didn't expect this. It seems Earl Chester has raised quite a monster. I hope this Earl doesn't regret releasing them." The man just used a simple slash, and it made Jackson at the side break out in a cold sweat. He couldn't even withstand a single move from the man. Is this the man rumored to have defeated the Sword King, Damien Harkson? It turned out the beast had killed the knight in front of it in the blink of an eye. This left the audience in the stands in disbelief. In an instant, the stand were filled with a mix of cheers and tension. Amidst the noise, no one knew why the knight had no ability to fight back at all. Olivia was also in shock, trembling uncontrollably. But Chester remarked, "A knight was defeated so easily. That just means he was ridiculously weak." Hearing this, Olivia couldn't help but speak up. "Father, this is just a tournament. Why did you release such a terrifying monster?" "Olivia, don't be so dramatic. This is just part of the selection process. Besides, the audience loves such exciting scenes." Just then, Jackson rushed out at an extremely fast speed. Jackson understood. The first person to strike and defeat the monster would become the object of the audience's true admiration. The wounded monster let out a furious roar. The shoulder and arm that had been cut by Jackson began to regenerate before their very eyes. Jackson showed a shocked expression. How can this be? Behind him, Damien still stood motionless. Only then did Damien understand. Before participating in the duel, everyone had signed a waiver of liability for life and death. So this was Earl Chester's arrangement in advance. He looked at the roaring troll before him. At this moment, Jackson could only avoid its sharp attacks, dodging everywhere. Seeing this, his teammates behind him hurriedly moved forward to provide support. But before their attacks could land, the person was already enveloped by the troll's attack. The next moment, his body flew backward like a kite with a broken string. Fortunately, at the last moment, he blocked the fatal blow with his longsword. Just as the woman was attracting the monster's attention, another teammate launched an attack from a blind spot behind it. Although the attacks lacked force, their strength lay in their extreme speed. The monster was attacked from multiple directions. Its ankles suffered multiple injuries, and it finally knelt, unable to support itself. Seeing this, the man leaped up, determined to seize this momentary opening, and swung down at the giant monster's head. But in that instant, he was airborne. The giant monster clapped its hands at the man with extreme speed. With a whimper, the man was completely crushed into a pulp. At the same time, Jackson also launched a sneak attack on the beast from behind. Seizing the opening his teammate had bought with his life, he delivered a slash like a giant wave. The beast's head was instantly severed. The stands erupted in thunderous cheers. Sophia excitedly declared, "That's my fiancé, all right." Jackson, panting heavily, spoke, "Now you know who the truly brave knight is, don't you?" He then raised his sharp blade, striking a victor's pose. But the next moment, he felt a chill from behind. A roaring beast launched an extremely swift attack at Jackson. Jackson had no time to think and subconsciously placed his long sword behind him to defend. Jackson didn't even understand what had happened as his body was sent flying dozens of meters. Jackson spoke with a tremor that I was too careless. I forgot there was another monster on the side. Just then, Damien spoke. "How disgraceful. 2 small monsters are enough to leave you battered and bruised." As he spoke, the beast let out a roar at Damien. Jackson shouted, "Are you an idiot? You're actually thinking of taking on this monster alone?" With a seemingly simple and casual swat, the originally terrifying attack was neutralized. Damien leaped lightly, his figure already appearing on the beast's head. Using its head as a springboard, he jumped backward. The beast had clearly noticed Damien's movements, but by the time it raised its head, Damien's attack was already over. An extremely fast slash had already fallen. The beast's body was suddenly split in 2 from the middle. At this moment, Jackson was already breaking out in a cold sweat. It wasn't because Damien had killed the beast, but because Jackson hadn't even seen how Damien had struck. After a moment of silence, the stands erupted in thunderous cheers. They shouted, "Damien Harkson." The cheers echoed throughout the entire dueling arena. Even Earl Chester couldn't help but clap and cheer. The reputation of Damien Harkson is clearly not just hype. In the arena, Damien casually tossed his longsword into his storage space, remarking, "Are 2 small monsters really worth getting so excited about?" Hearing this, Jackson was stunned for a moment. "Damien Harkson, that former waste actually dares to mock me like that. I'll make you pay." This was just a lowest grade flamestone. However, it left the man beside him stunned on the spot, because this flamestone held a great secret, and only the man understood that it was a soul gem born together with the flamestone. Right after the competition ended, Earl Chester's mansion held a birthday banquet. During the banquet, everyone looked at Damien with fascination. I asked that Damien from the competition arena? Is that his younger brother next to him? He looks so handsome. Harkson was very curious. "Where on earth did you find such nice clothes?" The Earl's domain has a famous clothing store, Moonlight Wave. Their clothes are popular throughout the entire country. Damien joked, "I spent more than half my savings to buy this." Hearing this, his younger brother whispered, "Thank you." Ardent gazes were fixed on Damien at all times. Noble ladies even declared that Damien was their top choice for a fiancé. Hearing the discussions nearby, Jackson angrily crushed the wine glass in his hand. "Why is this happening? Everyone is talking about Damien. I performed exceptionally well, too. Why is everyone paying attention to Damien Harkson?" After the match, he even mocked me for fighting such weak monsters for so long. He then said, "Sophia, don't you think Damien is being too arrogant?" At this moment, Sophia was staring blankly with a dazed look in her eyes. "Damien Harkson, why didn't I ever notice how handsome he was before?" Just then, an announcement echoed through the banquet hall. "Lady Olivia is entering." Olivia entered the banquet with the Earl. Chester said, "Thank you all for attending Olivia's birthday banquet. The contestants in today's preliminary round were dazzling. I hope for an equally outstanding performance tomorrow. Next, allow me to reveal the prize for this tournament's champion." He glanced at the fireplace nearby. Without hesitation, he placed his hand into the blazing fire. This action stunned everyone around him. Damien was also puzzled. What is he trying to do? The next moment, Chester's hand showed no signs of being burned. This was all thanks to the flamestone. The first moment Damien saw the stone, he was stunned on the spot. This isn't a flamestone at all. The man in black nearby had also clearly set his sights on the flamestone. The man in black was Jackson's master. He repeated to himself, "It really is here. This isn't a flamestone at all. It's a soul gem, also known as the soul of the mind." Chester announced, "As you can all see, this treasure can grant immunity to fire damage. Even the mages in my mansion couldn't determine its origin, ultimately concluding it was a rare flame stone. The final winner of this tournament will receive this flame stone as a reward. Damien couldn't believe it, that a soul gem is being used as a cheap prize. I'm not usually interested in prizes, but a soul gem is an exception. Chester spoke that I hope everyone enjoys themselves tonight. He then gave the signal for the banquet to officially begin. Instantly, music began to play softly. A moment after the banquet started, a person came before the Earl to greet him. I am Florence, the eldest son of the Nathan family. I have carefully prepared a gift for Lady Olivia. This is a skincare product made by an alchemist using spirit elixir powder. Even an elderly person can regain skin like a baby's after using it. Chester thanked him with a smile, but Olivia's face showed no sign of joy. The next moment, another man stated he was from the Temple family, that I have also prepared a gift for Lady Olivia. This is a necklace made of 7 colored gems. It's rumored to be made from materials obtained only after killing hundreds of gem monsters. We can all feel your sincerity. Please give these items to the butler to put away. Just as I thought, Damien mused, everyone is starting to curry favor with Olivia. But the Earl's family is very wealthy. Ordinary gifts are useless. Your esteemed lordship, I am Jackson. You're Jackson, the one who killed one of the monsters. You are correct. I am Jackson, also known as the Demon Hunter. I have come today with a gift for you. This is a bottle of condensed life essence. Just 1 drop can maintain one's energy for 3 days. Master told me to target the Earl. Making the Earl happy will make it easier to win Olivia. Hearing this, the Earl's face lit up with joy. Olivia, look quickly. Isn't this gift wonderful? Olivia remained listless, giving a perfunctory response. Then, Damien said, it's our turn to go up. Seeing Damien step forward, Jackson was filled with disdain, that a mere country bumpkin. What kind of good thing could you possibly bring out? Damien smiled faintly. The thing Jackson brought out is good, but it still couldn't move Olivia. Esteemed Lord Earl, I am Damien Harkson. Hearing his name, the Earl became very excited that Harkson's reputation has already spread far and wide. Damien said, that's just them praising me without reason. Apparently, the Earl hadn't expected Damien to be so humble. Olivia has no interest in this kind of flattery, this kind of noble greeting. Harkson couldn't help but worry. Damien said, Olivia will definitely like this gift. Lord Earl, I have also prepared a gift for the beautiful Lady Olivia. This is simply wonderful. I'm very curious what kind of gift a high-level knight like you will bring. Damien summoned his spatial item. The next moment, an object half a person tall appeared in his hands. Olivia subconsciously looked over. This is the gift I prepared for Lady Olivia. A longbow. Chester was completely stunned. Why is it a bow and arrow? However, Olivia, who had been completely uninterested, immediately stood up from her seat in excitement. The man had only taken out a lowest-grade wooden bow, yet it shocked the Earl of the kingdom, because the maker of this bow was the #1 blacksmith on the continent. Moreover, the materials used were the horns of a legendary minotaur. Seeing the wooden bow, Olivia's face lit up with joy, while the guests on the side looked puzzled. No matter how they looked at it, it was just an ordinary bow and arrow. Even Earl Chester thought it was impossible for Olivia to like this thing. But the next moment, Olivia showed an incredibly excited expression. May I touch this bow? Damien smiled faintly, just as he had thought. Harkson, quickly hand the bow to Olivia. Olivia spoke with effort. What a resilient and fine bow. Olivia is extremely obsessed with hunting. This is information I grasped from my past life. This is the best bow I've ever used, both in the elasticity of the string and the resilience of the body. Mr. Damien, if I'm not mistaken, this was made from the horn of a minotaur, wasn't it? Lady Olivia is correct. Down below, Jackson heard minotaur horn. Could the material of that bow be the legendary minotaur horn? While playing with it, she saw the maker's name carved on the bow. Olivia was astonished. Was this made by that #1 blacksmith on the continent, Auguste? Hearing this, even the Earl cried out. Of course, Lady Olivia. Auguste's skill is second to none. The Earl picked up the longbow. It really is Auguste's carving. I once had the good fortune to see a shield forged by the master. It ended up selling for a sky-high price at an auction. I never thought I'd receive such a precious gift in my lifetime. Father, this wasn't a gift for you. Olivia said this was the best gift she had ever received. Damien said, this is a gift my younger brother helped find for you. My younger brother, Harkson, searched everywhere for half a year in advance just to find it for you. Thank you very much, Mr. Harkson, for valuing me so much. I'm very curious how you obtained such a precious bow. Let my younger brother tell you himself. Olivia's face was full of joy. Harkson, you must tell me everything. Lord Earl, may my younger brother step forward to speak with Lady Olivia? The Earl replied, of course, no problem. Harkson, don't just stand there in a daze. Go on. Lady Olivia, it's an honor to meet you. I am Harkson. Damien smiled faintly. You're the star of the show today. Jackson, it seems our plan has been disrupted by Damien. I didn't expect Damien to not only become so strong, but also to make Olivia so happy. If this continues, both the Earl and Olivia will favor Damien even more. Jackson, we can't just sit back and wait. You come with me. Sophia, you just wait for me here. He caught a glimpse of Jackson leaving. It seems someone is about to make a move. The next morning, Damien had a mischievous look on his face. I never expected that Harkson, who's usually so timid when he speaks, will be chatting so freely with Lady Olivia last night. Hearing this, Harkson's face turned red, and he didn't know what to say. Damien laughed loudly. I'm looking forward to you bringing us good news. Victor said, I hope young Master Damien achieves good results today as well. Behind him, Harkson whispered, thank you. Damien turned to look. Harkson said, thank you so much for creating the opportunity for me to be alone with Olivia. Damien lifted his long sword and said, are you really the Harkson I know? Then he smiled, you're my younger brother. After all, helping my brother get closer to the lady he loves, isn't that only natural? Hearing this, Harkson's heart warmed. He thought, that's right, we're brothers. The second round was a one-on-one match. Damien just threw a casual punch. His opponent was completely crushed one-sidedly. It was incredibly easy. The crowd in the stand shouted, Damien, this match is completely effortless. The next one is the final, right? Just as the crowd was cheering excitedly, a person in a cloak found Harkson.mr. Harkson, I finally found you. Harkson was shocked. Lady Olivia, what are you doing here? Mr. Harkson, you and your brother are in grave danger right now. It's starting. The final championship battle has finally begun. Damien fell into an encirclement trap, but Damien wasn't the least bit flustered. On the contrary, he was unusually excited. It turned out that last night in the Chester mansion, Olivia was happily humming a little tune. Her conversation with Harkson had put Olivia in a very pleasant mood. Just then, a servant stopped Olivia, saying, Earl Chester is looking for you. Olivia was very confused. It's so late. Why is he looking for me? A moment later, in Earl Chester's room, Olivia shouted in disbelief. You call me here in the middle of the night just to tell me this? That's right, to tell you that you are going to marry Jackson. Father, have you gone mad? I've never even spoken a word to this guy next to me. We've had no interaction at all. At this moment, Jackson was also furious inside. This old fool didn't tell me anything and just brought me here. Father, this is my life. Why did you make such a decision without consulting me? Hearing this, Chester swirled the wine glass in his hand. Olivia, what are you talking about? The children of nobles have no right to choose their own lives. Then, Father, on what grounds did you make such a decision? Are you asking for the reason? Of course, it's because your marriage will bring enormous benefits to the family. Jackson's master, Jackner, is about to become a high rank. Among nobles, having an intermediate rank is enough to ensure peace of mind, let alone a high rank. If the marriage alliance is successful, Mr. Jackner will become a great asset to our family. Not only that, Mr. Jackson will also provide mana and weapon manufacturing techniques for the family's knights to use. Jackson was shocked. Damn old fool. He hasn't even taught me these techniques. Yet he's making such promises recklessly. At this moment, Olivia's heart was filled with pain. Father, you're trying to sell me off in exchange for the family's benefit. Chester roared in anger. Shut up, whether you agree or not. This matter is already decided. He then said, Mr. Jackner, I have one small problem. Your disciple, Jackson, that hasn't shown any outstanding performance. If I let him become my son-in-law just like this, it will cause controversy. The Earl means that Jackson is not yet qualified to be your son-in-law. But you don't need to worry. Tomorrow, Jackson will win the competition. I'd like to believe your judgment, but you also know that Damien is much stronger than Jackson. Of course, I know Damien is strong. That's why I need you to do me a favor tomorrow. Chester was puzzled. What favor? Just don't stop the match. A moment later, everyone who heard this was utterly shocked. Chester sat there stunned and silent. Olivia shouted, We can't be so shameless. Then, Chester said, We'll do as you say. Olivia stared at her father, her face full of disappointment. Mr. Damien, I can't stop my father. Damien thought, so that's what this is all about. The people around him said, nervously, let's get out of here. Jackner didn't give me a friendly vibe. I didn't expect him to pull this kind of trick behind our backs. Damien said, I'm not leaving. Damien, didn't you hear what Lady Olivia said? Jackner is an intermediate rank, a man about to step into high rank. Don't worry, I have a plan. He's only got 1 foot in a high rank. For now, just watch this match patiently. Then, Damien slowly entered the arena. The moment he entered, everyone on the side focused their attention on him. That's Damien, the one who instantly killed the Minotaur, right? Following that, the sound of drums echoed around. Chester stood up, puzzled. Where on earth did Olivia run off to? Thank you all for your support. Today is the final championship match. Today's final has only one rule, and that is victory. No matter the means, whoever can win and be the last one standing will be the champion. Mr. Damien, don't blame me. This is the only way for Jackson to win. The people in the stands were also very nervous. Damien must have some kind of plan. No rules? He's clearly preparing to do something dishonorable. At the same time, everyone in the arena drew their swords. Damien, don't blame us. The crowd instantly surrounded Damien. Jackner looked at the situation in the arena. Now the game is over. Although Jackson didn't want to use such a shameless method, he had no other choice. I have to admit, Damien Harkson, you are stronger than me. Don't blame me. I can only team up with others to attack you. The next moment, the crowd instantly rushed towards Damien. Damien just smiled faintly, without a trace of panic on his face. The man just used a basic sword magic and left everyone around him stunned because the seemingly weak and powerless attack. That was actually the long-lost ultimate skill of a sword saint. The crowd joined forces to attack Damien, but there wasn't a trace of panic on Damien's face. The day before the match, inside Jackson's tent, Jackson shouted, I never heard anything about getting engaged to Olivia. Even if I were to be engaged to Olivia, Master, you should have discussed it with me beforehand. But before he could finish, Jackner struck Jackson fiercely. You dare blame me? If it weren't for your incompetence, why would I need to go out of my way to curry favor with the Earl? Jackson was furious inside. This bastard is just using me. My plan is very important. This time, you absolutely cannot hold me back again. But Master, I'm already engaged to Sophia. Just get rid of that woman. Women are nothing but tools to be used. I only agreed to your engagement with Sophia before for this thing. The swordsmanship manual of Sophia's family. It's an item that's very helpful to me. Now that I've gotten what I want, your engagement to Sophia is no longer necessary. You mean, this time you want to use me to curry favor with Earl Chester's family? Not only will I curry favor with them this time, but I will also completely control their family. This is to fulfill my long-held wish. I absolutely will not allow any mistakes. A pleading look appeared on Jackson's face. Master, I really love Sophia. Jackson, do you really not understand? Women will only hinder your future. Besides, Sophia only chose you in the first place because Damien wasn't strong enough. You should have seen it too, the way Sophia looked at Damien last time. This is a ring that can make you stronger. As long as you wear it, you can prove you are stronger than Damien. If you do that, maybe I'll consider letting you stay with Sophia. Once you use the ring's power, then you must kill Damien in the arena. Hearing this, Jackson was silent for a moment. This old guy won't listen to me now. I'll just pretend to obey him for now. He then picked up the ring, indicating that he understood. At this time, in the competition arena, Sophia was shouting, Go Jackson. Hearing this, Jackson made up his mind that I have to win, no matter what. Sophia, just you watch. Today, I will definitely kill Damien. The next moment, he stared intently at Damien. The crowd attacked Damien from all directions. Countless flashes of sword light passed, but Damien remained standing in place, effortlessly dodging all the attacks. One contestant launched a sneak attack from behind, but it was as if Damien had eyes in the back of his head. He instantly jumped up and stepped on the man's head. He chuckled, jumped up, and said, Next time you sneak attack, control your killing intent a little. Then, he struck the man hard from above. Damien hadn't expected it. I asked this guy really that weak? Seeing this, Harkson in the spectator's stand shouted excitedly, Why aren't you coming? If you don't come soon, I'm coming over. I can't wait any longer, Damien said in a teasing tone. Jackson was shocked. Facing so many knights, Damien hasn't even drawn his weapon. Has he already reached intermediate rank? Just then, a woman beside him shouted, I'll let you experience the swordsmanship of the Artel family. At the same time, a man behind him shouted, Fight for the glory of the St. Ralt family, and also rushed over. Hearing this, Damien spoke coldly. That a group of people ganging up on me, and you still have a nerve to talk about family honor? Just as the two's long swords were about to hit Damien, he whispered, omnidirectional vision skill, activate. The movements of the two were like snails in Damien's eyes. He instantly neutralized their offensive with sword melody. Damien looked at the two expressionlessly. They're too weak. I haven't even used half my strength. You attacked me just now. Now it's my turn, right? In the blink of an eye, several flashes of light passed. The two instantly suffered a heavy blow and fell to the ground. The stands erupted in thunderous cheers. This the power of Damien Harkson? Even Jackner and the Earl were stunned. He defeated the enemies in a single move. Now you're the only one left. Are you still planning to be my enemy? Jackson gritted his teeth, as if having made some kind of decision. Damien, you forced me to do this. He took the sphere from the ring and swallowed it without hesitation. The next moment, Jackson's body began to go numb, and he felt sharp pains in his heart. An evil mana fluctuation suddenly emanated from his body. The mana slowly enveloped the fallen people around him. At the same time, the fallen people let out bone-chilling roars. It was as if the power of the crowd was being devoured by Jackson alone. Damien was also very shocked. He hadn't expected Jackson to go this far. The man just released a basic mana fluctuation, and it left everyone around him stunned. Because the Sword Saint's ultimate skill, Sword Melody, that the man released nearly overturned the entire competition arena. It turned out that after Jackson swallowed the pill from the ring, his body emitted an extremely strong mana fluctuation. Even the mana within the bodies of those lying on the side was completely devoured. Jackson let out a wild, unrestrained laugh. This is Mana Berserk. Mana Berserk raises one's own mana to an incredibly active state. It can even devour surrounding objects with mana. Individuals whose mana is devoured will most likely be crippled for life. Seeing the rampant Jackson, Damien whispered, "Is this the effect of the pill you swallowed?" "That's right. This is the trump card my master gave me. You should be feeling your mana starting to drain, right? Do you still have the energy to talk to me like this? You should be on your knees right now, crawling on the ground like an ant." The mana in the air grew even more violent. Jackson continued until he had devoured all the surrounding mana. But Damien was still standing in the same spot. The next moment, Damien burst out laughing. "Jackson, I thought you had some trump card. I didn't expect this to be what you were relying on. I know what you're plotting. I didn't expect you to disappoint me so much, relying on black magic in the end." Hearing this, Jackson was shocked. What black magic? And why are you still standing? The moment he finished speaking, Jackson was hit. Damien delivered an extremely fast kick. Jackson flew backward like a kite with a broken string. The fallen Jackson spoke with a tremor. "Why is this happening?" Damien smiled. "How could that low-level black magic possibly work on me?" Outside the arena, Jackner was in disbelief. The black magic actually failed? Is black magic really useless against Damien? Damien hadn't expected it either to get rid of me. He actually used Jackson and had him dabble in black magic. After the match, I'll make them suffer a little. Just then, Jackson got up again and swung his sword at Damien. Damien completely ignored Jackson, lightly dodging to the side. At the same time, he couldn't help but sigh. "Jackson, you truly are a pitiful fellow." Hearing this, Jackson was enraged. "Since Mana Berserk can't subdue you, then I'll defeat you on my own." Seeing this, Damien chuckled. "Can you do that?" He then lightly raised his longsword. With a seemingly slow and casual swing, he used Sword Melody. Jackson was instantly sent flying by the powerful mana aura. Jackson roared uncontrollably. "How could I lose?" The next slash of light fell. The entire competition arena couldn't stop shaking. The wave of violent airflow made it impossible for the people in the stands to open their eyes. At this moment, Jackson knelt on the ground, no longer able to suppress the mana in his body. Mana exuding an ominous aura erupted from Jackson's body. The entire sky was dyed a dark purple. This act left everyone around in shock. The audience became terrified almost at the same moment. Such an ominous aura was too frightening. Damien took a look at it really is black magic. Apparently, even Earl Chester hadn't expected Jackson to use black magic. A knight using black magic in my domain will attract the attention of the church. My Lord Earl, the audience is starting to panic. If this continues, news of black magic in the domain will reach the ears of the church. This is all beyond Chester's control. He shouted, "Stop the match and seal the area before the news gets out." Damien looked at the sky. All of this should be going according to that guy's plan. He then looked at Jackner in the stands. That guy sure runs fast. At this moment, Earl Chester was furious. Damn you, Jackner. I must pretend to be completely unaware. There's currently no evidence that I collaborated with him. Lord Earl Chester, where do you think you're going? Damien, having left the arena, had already caught up. Oh, it's Mr. Damien. Is there something you need from me? Damien showed a harmless smile. Doesn't the Lord Earl have anything to say to me? How could I have anything to say to you? Something has suddenly come up in my domain that I need to handle. Lord Earl, if you choose to play dumb, then there's nothing I can do. The next moment, he instantly defeated the guards beside him. He threw an extremely fast punch, stopping right in front of Chester's face. Lord Earl, have you remembered anything you'd like to say now? I don't mind. I'll help the Lord Earl remember.